Hello and welcome back to the Rosberg podcast. I've been a little bit quiet or quieter than I'd like to be on the podcast front recently. I've been pretty busy competing, done a few shows in the last month. But we are back with an absolutely awesome episode. Today I sit down with an absolute true living legend of martial arts, and especially of UK martial arts, Guro Bob Breen. He is so accomplished, such a legendary figure in over multiple martial arts, karate, the Filipino martial arts, Kali and Escrima, and of course JKD, where he trained under Dan Inosanto, who is one of the most legendary figures in martial arts in the entire world, having trained directly under Bruce Lee himself. So Bob is just an incredible figure. He's been in this game longer than almost anyone else in the world has been in this game. You know, it's really incredible. I wanted to sit down and talk to him for a very long time. Very happy to finally get the chance to do so. Really, really enjoyed recording this episode, and I hope you guys enjoy listening to it. Check it out. Awesome. So firstly, thank you very much for coming, and I've been looking forward to doing this for a long time, so I'm glad to finally get this done. Let's just, you've been a part of so many different martial arts, so, and to such a high level as well. I kind of just want to go back to the beginning and sort of find out how you got into the martial arts to begin with. So like, what was the first thing that you were training? Well,
I tell you, I think the first thing that really happened to me is, I can remember being age 5, playing in the street, with kids, and then the guy opposite started to hit me, and I kept thinking, what's this? Because I hadn't had a fight ever.
Yeah. Well, 5 years old, you'd expect.
5 years old, and he had like brothers, so he was always fighting.
Yeah.
And I lived in a house full of women. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my dad was always out working. I was the only man in the house.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking, what's this? What's happening here? It was like, what is this? I remember thinking as it was happening, I was thinking, I'm getting bashed here, but how do you do it? And I remember my dad screaming out the window, kill him. And I kept thinking, I have to understand this. And that was really one of those pivotal things. Only now, because I'm doing an autobiography, is looking back. That was one of the things that, I need to understand this.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Happening. You have a memory from that far.
Yeah. I was having 5 or 6, something like that, out in the street. And then I suppose in teenage years I had loads of fights, but I remember one fight against a boxer, and
these are just street fights.
Yeah, just street fights. Yeah. And I remember thinking,
was that just the area that you were in?
Yeah, I grew up in an area where it's like the gang thing now.
Sure.
If you were in the gang, you were okay.
Yeah.
We didn't even think about it. We didn't think,
it was just a common thing to have scraps in the street.
You just hung out on the corner.
Sure.
There wasn't anything to do. There wasn't any entertainment.
No internet,
So, no internet. But it was long before the internet. And I remember, he came up and said, you better watch it, etc. And, and I wasn't going to take it, but I was always easy going. I wasn't ever after a fight, ever. But he started it, so I went, okay, I'm up for it, bang. And I banged away, and I had no skill whatsoever.
Sure.
Just heart,
Yeah.
And again, that was one of those pivotal things. I think he just bashed me, and I was thinking, I need to understand this. This is like this. I need to get some technique here.
Yeah.
And that was when I was maybe 16.
Yeah.
And then I did karate that year. I started that year.
That's kind of, karate is one of those, like the quintessential self-defense. That's one that a lot of people gravitate towards, especially at the time.
I think back then you have to realise there was boxing.
Yeah.
And boxing was really primitive then. So if you went into, say, the Repton or the Lion or wherever like that, they go, hello, son, right, get in the ring with Jimmy there. And then Jimmy would give you a good bashing.
Yeah.
Break your nose or something like that, and then they go, and if you came back, they go, okay, we can teach you, but they wouldn't teach you until you've been bashed.
Sure.
And I think
they want to weed out the people who can't take it, right?
Well, yeah. They also want to go. They haven't got time, have they? They haven't got time to waste on
everyone.
on everyone.
Yeah.
So you just go, let's sort them out early.
Sure. They want fighters.
Yeah, they want fighters. They
Yeah.
want people who are going to go, you what? And
Yeah,
just
yeah,
going
yeah.
to stick in. I'm being fairly intelligent. I went, nah, I don't want to do that.
Not for me.
You know, not for me. Even though we did it in clubs. And so then I saw, but then there was only boxing, judo, and karate. That was it. And karate was brand new. You got like jits was 20 years ago.
Yes.
That's what karate was like. There was
Yeah.
no
It was
one.
exciting.
Oh, it was hugely exciting. There was nothing. There was
Yeah.
nothing. There was like street fighting and judo, which was quite established. That was it. There wasn't any aikido and stuff like that. The aikido, if there was any, was like tiny.
Yes.
You know, karate came next, and there was. So I trained with one of the first Japanese into England. You know, it was Tatsuo, and I saw him at the YMCA in Russell Square. And then my friend, it was actually a friend at school, said, I'm an AFQ too. And I said, what's an AFQ too?
Yeah.
You know? He said, I do karate. Because we were all breaking, because it was an odd job. The James Bond films were out there, the books were out. So we were fascinated by this idea of karate. And you see a little bit on the TV, but you still see guys who are postmen hitting like tailors and dummies, you know?
Yeah.
With a chop, you know?
Yeah.
And you've got to realise it was totally the dark ages. And but we're still intrigued. I remember at school we get all the technical drawing tools and break them with chops. You know, like the piles of broken wooden set squares outside. You know? We were always bashing stuff because it was like
It's fun, right?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. We were terribly destructive. Now. I feel really terrible about it. And so he said, I'm an AFQ too. And I said, what's an AFQ too? And then I went along, I saw Tats, and Tatsuo was just like lightning, because he was about 35 then. And he could kick and punch, like, you know, it was like turning on a light, you know, it was as quick as that. And he'd go. And I remember just thinking, wow. And I just had this fight with a boxer, you know, and I thought, I need some skills. And I saw that and I went, wow, I'm in. And that was it. And I turned out that my friend had an 8th Q second class pass.
So with these,
on his grading, they're grading, so yeah, the Q grade, almost like you'd have stripes on your
that's what it was.
Your belt. Yeah,
I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, so 8th Q, Q grades up to Dan, and then it's Dan grades.
I got you.
So he's an 8th Q too, but an 8th Q second class, and he'd been doing it 3 months or so. Yeah. And so I started with about 4 other blokes, and they all dropped out, and I was the only one who kept it going. I'd become obsessed by it.
Really?
Obsessed by it, yeah. Just like loved it. So then I joined Ravel's. It used to be in King's Cross. I joined that.
Yeah.
And I was like working in an office. I worked in a stockbrokers back then. And so I'd get up early, go to work, come back from work, go and have a private lesson in King's Cross, go and do some A-levels in the further education college, go back and train in the evening after that till 10, and then walk home and then go, and that's what I did every day.
Yeah.
And then, but still there was like the gang thing was still happening really, and
were you still getting into fights at this point?
Yeah, there were loads of fights then, yeah, but it was getting quite nasty then, and it was just at age. There was girls coming into into the mix as well. And I remember we went to a place, the Manor House near Finsbury Park, and there used to be a big club. There you see Chris Farlow, Georgie Fame, like blues bands. Yeah. But we were always kicking off. We were just looking back now. We were like virulent scumbags, really. But it was just like what would you call it? A very feral thing.
Yeah.
It was just groups of kids
with,
and then someone said, "Oh yeah, let's hit them," or they've attacked us, or whatever. It was very tribal, and Yeah, and I never started anything, but often it would kick off you being a big gang fight.
Sure.
And people would get striped and people would get stabbed.
Really?
And yeah, it was quite dangerous. You know,
Yeah.
quite a few of my friends didn't last really. You
Wow.
know, they got stabbed to death and things like
Wow.
that. And I remember one time they were saying to me, yeah, we have to get those people back because they cut
Sure.
Jimmy up. I can't remember his name now.
That's how it starts, isn't it? It's tit for tat.
When they did a tit for tat thing, they bashed him up. It was people who used to be friends because it was very like a change in alliances.
Sure.
You're our friend against them.
Yeah.
And then like gangs, there used to be a Highbury gang, an Essex Road gang. There used to be an arcade gang at the Angel. And they were all like merged together and it would fluctuate, you know, factional. And
sounds like the Warriors or something.
yeah.
Gangs of New York.
Looking
stuff.
back, yeah, it's a bit like that. Oh, no,
crazy.
we're not with them anymore. We're with them
Yeah.
now. And I remember them saying to me, "Oh, we're going to go back up and get them because they striped this guy's arse. They bashed him, got him on the floor, and now they got a razor out and cut up all his arse. You know, with
God.
and they said we're going to go back and do that. And, well, I wasn't particularly keen to go up against people with razors and things like that, and there were other things that were coming on the scene, but it wasn't that. I was thinking, no, I'm working on my green belt.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working on my sidekick.
Yeah.
That was my big
Like
thing.
I've
Was my
got other things
sidekick.
to worry about. Yeah.
Yeah, I was working on my sidekick, and
Yeah.
I was like, and they said, "Are you coming tonight?" And I remember that was like almost the parting of the ways. I went, no, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't, and that was it. And there was I'd sort of broken.
And once you're
almost from
gone,
that. I'd gone, and I was going away, and then I did that. I was obsessed by it. I'd go every night. You know,
that sounds like a great example of how martial arts, or any hobby really,
It's
but
great,
especially the martial arts, can kind of help people get away from that sort of life. Like,
because you don't realise it's that sort of life when you're in it. Do you?
Yeah.
You don't think it's feral.
from the
or whatever.
inside.
No, from the inside, or Jim or Bill or Bob, they're all your mates, aren't they? And they're funny, and they're it's just who you know. I see all these boys now who are like stabbing each other, and I realise they're just in a little bubble where they don't realise how
That's just
big the
normal
world
life.
is. They don't realise how big the world is, and how you can go here and meet these people and meet that, and travel everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I quite like to go back now and do like a re-education for them, to take all my friends who are like dudes from other things and take them all in and say, no, look.
Have you done that, or
No,
that's something you'd like to do?
I would like to, because I think that would be.
Well, it's such a big problem now, isn't it?
It's a huge problem. Yeah, I think for kids, also kids now, it's like the dream's there, on your phone, or on your, you can live. This is your crib, isn't it? Or this is your helicopter. You can have. This is the lifestyle. But for you, you're going to work in Tesco's. There's a disparity between those two ends, isn't there? So that was it. I sort of started to deviate then, and didn't hang around as much. Although I was still hanging out with people.
Yeah.
And then I suppose I was 18 or so, and then I was at a party, a Christmas party with my friend, and I was probably being a bit too amorous to his girlfriend, but he was a big guy, very good fighter, and then he just hit me over the head with a pint of beer, and you can see I've got a scar through here, goes down through my leg, come up through my lip.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was really when I just went, oh, okay, I'm out of that group now.
Screw this. Yeah.
And now I'm into this group.
Yeah.
And the martial arts has been fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, I've travelled the world. I've met billionaires, rock stars, everyone. It's just spiritually, it's great because you hang around with ace people.
Yeah. And such a big variety.
A huge variety of people. I meet financiers. I meet guys who are in special forces and things like that. And for a boy who had a stammer from Highbury, who, even though I did all right at school, it took me everywhere.
Yeah.
It changed my whole life. But it was quite good because what I bring back from that, having had a street education and lots of fights,
Sure.
was
that experience.
Yeah, there's a certain experience that you only get from doing it for real, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
You can't learn that in a book.
No, you can't learn it in a book. And so I try to bring that to my students and to the stuff I'm doing. But I'm always going, no, that's some work because that's not instinctive.
Trust me, it doesn't work because I've been there.
Yeah. Not that I'm some huge expert, but just I've been there, seen it. Even if I haven't done it, I've seen things happen.
Sure.
And you just know what was it.
Yeah.
So that was my early inspiration into that, and how I did that break.
Interesting.
From,
Absolutely.
How about for you? What was your?
Well, I never had the. For me, it was just a martial arts.
This is a nice area, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too bad, but I never really fought that much, but I just had an interest in it. I don't know whether it was from TV or film.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are just interested in the martial arts and interested in the culture. And I think, looking back on it, I do think that fighting is such an integral part of kind of human instinct. And I think for some people, that instinct expresses itself more than others. And I think that's why so many people get into fights, because they don't have an avenue to go through. So
yeah, they don't have other things as well. I mean, I know I still used to know guys from that age who grew up with me. I went to school with. They're still going to football to have a fight.
Really, yeah.
In their 40s.
Wow,
So I was going, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
I was always a bit artistic as a child. I was probably the best drawer in school and all that. So I went to art school after I left.
Okay.
Did that for a year. And then had an interview at the Slade, which is one of the best places.
Wow.
And
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you've been able to kind of, moving off of a tangent from, we'll get back to everything else after, but do you feel that as an artist, as a creative type, that's allowed you to use martial arts as an expression of your creativity?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I never really like to follow the spreadsheet.
Sure.
So that just isn't.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm always thinking, how do I reinvent that? How do I rejig that?
And
that's what David finds in intriguing, because he goes, where he's very organised. And I'm more jazz. He's more classical.
Well, So
so
you're talking
play
about
some jazz as well. So
So we're talking about David Enuma there, who is kind of how I met you. I knew of you beforehand, but met you through David. And David's a student of yours, and you train with him to this day.
He's a star, isn't he?
But it's such an interest. You kind of come from an artistic background. And he comes from, he was a lawyer before.
Yeah, totally.
These are like the two.
So the two of us together are great.
Yeah, you can bounce off each other.
Bounce.
Ways.
I'd love to have his skills. I'd love to have that. He's very organised. But I'm not that. I'm the jazz guy. I'm the whatever.
But that was going to be
Thelonious.
One of my next questions was going to be, off of that was, do you believe that you have to be creative in order to best succeed in the martial arts? But then you kind of automatically, before I even asked that, you answered that by saying, and then you have David, who's incredibly successful, but with a completely different mindset.
Yeah, I think if you only do it by the list, I don't think you ever get there, because it isn't in the list, is it?
Because when you talk, exactly. To get outside the box, you need to be outside the box.
I know guys who go, I've done the omoplata or whatever it is, but they've got no creativity. And where the really good guys, they say, I can do that from 5 different ways, and I can set that up like that. And they're looking at it as like an art form, aren't they?
Whenever you talk about the greats in martial arts, as a fan, I'm more into MMA and grappling than a lot of the other martial arts, but even in boxing, anything really, I'm sure in all the other martial arts, like when you're talking about the absolute greats, like one of those, the attributes that you use to define the absolute greatest in those disciplines are like that creativity, that inventiveness, on the spot coming up with things that you've never seen before.
And they aren't copying.
Yeah.
They're not followers, are they? They're doing their own thing, aren't they? They're taking that thing and then doing something with it. It's changing in the moment. I think that's intriguing. So the two of us together, Dave and I, are great because I inspire him, he inspires me.
Sure.
I get a bit more organised, he gets a bit more
creative.
Well,
so immediately after saying that, I'm thinking, do you believe that you can? Do you believe that you're born as a creative, or do you believe that you can do things to become more creative?
I think you can do things, but I think people are people. I think you are who you are.
Yeah.
I know guys who are like, I've got a good friend, who but he loves a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And we're doing clinch work.
Yeah.
And I have to give him a slap and say, no processing in your brain.
Yeah. Just
what do you feel?
Yeah.
What do you feel now?
Yeah.
Because this process is too long to go up and use your forebrain. If I'm going to arm drag you, you haven't got time to say, what are the 5 counters to the arm drag?
Sure.
You have to
just react.
You just have to react and go, oh, no, I turned that, changed that. And they say, how did you do that? How did you just change angle like that? That's not in the list. And you go, I don't know. I just knew because I'm not tied to, I'm not tied to that. I think Bruce was ahead of everyone. Bruce Lee, was ahead of everyone in that he says, using way as way, using no way as way.
Yeah.
So he said, you need to have the list.
Yeah.
But then you need to forget the list.
Sometimes
the list is just a springboard for you to get started, isn't it? And then you're just off and moving and banging and asking questions all the time. I think we've been doing in the 4D classes now is I'm sure you find it in jits as well. People like ego massaging their training partners. Oh, great, superb, and it's not. You know what I mean? They do a technique badly, they go excellent, and you go excellent. So they're the reward.
Yeah.
So
you're getting this false.
Yeah, a false, and then
feedback. Yeah.
And then if you leave guys on their own a lot, and you're not bringing in outside grit, to inspire them or to challenge them, then what happens is that level goes down because now that average is excellent, and then that what used to be average is the top level, isn't it now? So it's downwards. So you got this like entropy to downwards.
Yes.
And I'm trying to say to the guys, no, you have to. So the thing we do in the thing I do now, which I call 4D, which is striking, clinching, weapons, and group attack, but all stand up. It's all stand up. Whereas I say, no, you have to test everything. So I'm going to arm drag you. You have to stop me. I'm going to arm drag. Oh, I'm going to punch you in the face. You have to stop me. This is what you do, and now I have to get 8 out of 10 on you, just as a drill. So if we're drilling, the drill's not like, oh yeah, that's wonderful. Oh, no, I didn't get it. You stopped me. So we learn the drill, then challenge it. So you just get better at it. So that whole thing about it being alive is happening all the time.
But I think that that's important. I've always, some people think I'm a bit mean when I'm teaching because I'm going to say that's bad. Just be honest. Like that's bad because if you don't, just like you said, if you tell someone something's good just because they're trying really hard, then they get this feedback that they've done something correct when they haven't. But if you do something correct, I'll tell you that it's great. But if you do it wrong, I'll tell you that it's wrong. I think that's important. Yeah,
absolutely. I think because now it's this thing. Oh no, you mustn't tell anyone that, and it's crap. Because it offends them and it will hit their confidence. When I think you have to spread love in your teaching.
Sure.
I think it's all about that. It's all about love. How do you become a great teacher? Love. Not in the sexual sense, but
you got to love your students. You have to love your students,
and you love the art, and you want to give it to them. So it's all about that. It's all about love, really, and someone that has to be tough love. Because what you want is to go, no, do it again. No, look at the key points. Elbows in. Keep the hand like that. Do this. Right. Do it again. No, do it slowly. Don't go fast. Bang. Right. Keep it like that. Right. And then you come back and go, no, I told you before. Keep your elbow in because they'll go back and to do this. But then when they do something right in front of all the class, I'll always praise them. Superb. Guys, have a look at this. This is fantastic. So that guy then, because he understands that what did someone say to me? I used to hire a girl, and she said to me, "If you never say no, what's your yes worth?" And I went, "Absolutely, isn't it? You need to have a standard, and you want to bring people up, and never want to keep people down." My big thing, I'm sure it's the same for you in teaching, is teaching is not about teaching people how to fight, although people think it is. It's about empowering people. Because I know as a kid I was always ill, so I was the guy who couldn't play rugby league. We were the only school in the south of England that played rugby league, and I really wanted to play, but I had ear operations and things like that, so I don't have any bone here behind my ear.
Okay.
So I can't box.
Oh, really?
So therefore I boxed unofficially for 50 odd years.
Really?
Yeah, I can't box. I can't be
hit.
licensed to box.
Wow.
Because I won't pass the medical.
Really?
Yeah, no, I couldn't box. Because in school we used to box.
Yeah.
So if you had a problem in school, this back in the dark ages.
Yeah.
If you had a problem in school, you had a fight.
Would you glove up, or would
we just glove up?
Really?
They'd give you some gloves. He could
Wait,
be 6 foot
the
tall.
teachers would do this?
Yeah, teachers would do it. Yeah.
Brilliant.
We'd have a boxing ring.
Man, what a better world it would be if we could still do that.
Horrible
these days.
horsehair gloves which are worn through,
Thin
so
as
they were
hell.
like
dead
as hell, just nothing. It's like being hit by a brick. And then they go, if you've got a fight, you have to do it gentlemanly in the ring.
100%, 100%, yeah.
And then they just give whoever it was. He could be 6 foot, you could be 5 foot. In the ring, sort it out there, and then you'd have a fight, and that was it.
That's the way it should be, though. Because it diffuses tension.
Diffuses.
How many people do you see, like, really even professional fighters, and you don't know how much of it they put on for the selling tickets, but people who have real animosity towards each other.
Totally.
And when you fight, and I've spoken about this with a few people on the podcast, but like how close male violence and male closeness comes, how bonded you are with the people that you spar with, but even someone that you have animosity with, once they fight each other and they've spent themselves and they've got that all out, and then they're bonded afterwards, even if they're not going to be great friends afterwards.
Some of my best friends are people I bashed for 50 years. We're so close. I mean, we couldn't be closer.
Yeah, but so you're thinking, like, you can almost a rivalry that isn't allowed to express itself early on ends up growing into these, I think 5 years later I'm going to stab him.
Sort of anti-male thing now. And I've also a denial of male
qualities.
Like oh no, you can't do that. You've got to sit quietly at school. I think education's become very female centric. Because I think guys want to run up and down. So if you say run up to the top of the field and sort that question out up there, and then how to cross this bridge, how to almost like it's a war, because boys are really designed for that, designed for hunting and warfare. And it's almost a denial of that. Whereas I think if they gave them that and said, how do you get this over a bridge, and then you show them the physics afterwards, the boys go, of course, I need that. I need the horses coming here, triangulation of forces. I need an isosceles triangle there because that won't work. But then they buy into it.
There's too much theory and not enough practicality. I agree.
Boys in particular like that, and I agree. I think if you bash each other, then
you kill it.
Then
early.
You're right. You kill it really early. It doesn't turn into something
more sinister.
More sinister and not so healthy. But anyway, they stopped that when I was at school. So I was just on the tail end of that.
Wow.
And they said, no, we can't have that.
Imagine that these days.
Oh yeah, outrage. They'd be on television, wouldn't it?
Insane. That a teacher gives 2 kids that were arguing with each other boxing gloves.
Well, it was corporal punishment was the big thing then. When I was at school, early on when I was at school, there was a big guy going around and getting a tithe off of everyone, going, give us tuppence for.
Yeah.
And I can remember sat my friend telling me to bugger off, And then I was in a fight with this guy, and he was a big guy.
Yeah.
And anyway, I bashed him, and then and he said to someone, "Give me a knife." So they gave him a knife. I just talked him down. I said, "Well, I'm you're obviously a coward because you need a knife, and I'm a little bloke and you're big. And if you have another try, you'll easy win. And I was frozen stiff, like with fear, because he had.
But you managed to talk your way out of it anyway.
I just took my way out of it.
Wow.
I said,
but you didn't talk him down. You almost talked him.
I talked him up. Yeah.
You said, don't be a pussy.
Yeah, don't be a pussy.
Knife.
Yeah.
And so that's a bold move to make, because he might have gone.
We're surprising how astute you become. When you're facing
the pressure's
that.
on.
The pressure's on. You go, oh, I've turned into a genius right now because I can't do anything else. All I have is like my brain.
Yeah.
So I said, go and put the knife down and have another go. Of course, he had another go and I bashed him again. And then someone gave him a milk bottle, which he broke on the wall.
Yeah.
This is in the toilets at school.
Wow.
And then I just went in, grabbed him and did like a seatbelt on him.
Yeah.
And disarmed him. And then the fight was broken up by the teachers.
How old is this?
11.
This is before you did any martial arts?
Yeah, before I did any martial arts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you can see there's lots of like indicators
that you were meant to do this, right? That
you were meant to do some
sort
it was
of
quite weird.
art.
And all of them were questions like, shit, how do I deal with that? That's that situation. There was situational conflicts.
Yeah.
And you have to realise that back then there was I'm not sure if you were aware, there's a comic book character called Modesty Blaze.
Okay, I've not heard of it, no.
Modesty Blaze used to be in the Evening Standard every day. And she was like a female James Bond.
Okay.
But way ahead of James Bond. Way ahead. You've got to realise 63 that started. So by 66, they were into all of the JKD stuff, all the JIT stuff. But before JITs.
Yeah.
They were doing like 2-on-1 fighting, sword fighting. She was just into this, like, she'd do like, say, the épée, the sword.
Yeah.
And then she'd come off the piece and stab the guy in the neck. And the guy go, no, you're off the piece. That's illegal. And she's going, yeah, but I won.
Yeah.
She was just into that,
Yeah.
And I think Quentin Tarantino bought up the rights and he did one film about her. And she was like a female James Bond, like crime syndicate person. Fabulous books. I think there's still one out by a guy called Peter O'Donnell.
Okay.
And he did a really good one called Sabretooth. And it's a bit hammy, but it's strategically
sound. Yeah.
It was like, wow.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Just all the concepts were just amazing.
Wow.
So, as I was saying, after that fight, of course, he was expelled, and I got the cane.
Oh, really?
And a corporal punishment in schools then was everyone got the cane.
Yeah.
Whether you were good or bad, you still got the cane. Like, say you did something bad, you wouldn't get caught for that, but you get caught for something you hadn't done, and then you get cane for that. So.
It all came around eventually.
It all came around eventually, But it was, and people say, "Oh, people would be traumatized by that," and their whole adult life. Shut up! It was
nobody got traumatized.
Nobody got traumatized.
Do you think that's something that they shouldn't have taken out?
I just think it's the current age. Everyone's their mental health would be. Not saying there weren't guys with,
of course,
mental health problems, because there were, but I think. What do you do? Do you just let those people live in society,
people
or you make
softer,
a big thing? People become,
and that's not good. Softer. That's not good for a society. There's kind of like this balance between kind of becoming more caring, but that seems to coincide with also becoming softer. I think that you can also. I think it's possible to stay
like jits. You can be really. You can be stern class, but you can be really. Come on, you can do this. I mean, the best thing that. You can do in a class is have some guy who's really timid, maybe he's on the spectrum somewhere, he's not functioning well, and you take him in and you build him. Yeah. And then 2 years later he's saying, "Oh, I'm off to climb Everest, and I'm doing this now and I'm doing that," and it's all because of you. And you think, well, that's your job.
You must have so many of those stories.
Loads of them, yeah.
Because you've been, we were saying before we started this, you've been teaching full time for 50 years.
Yeah, 50 years. 50 years, exactly.
That is unbelievable.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a brown belt, and there weren't lots of brown belts then. Excuse me, I'm belching up
from the Christmas party yesterday.
Mince pies from the Christmas party.
That's an
I did eat 13. I'm a person who doesn't eat carbohydrate. That's a lot. There's loads of those stories about getting people in who are
transformations.
Yeah, transformations. I mean, almost my favourite story is to tell about my friend Peter. And Peter was a doorman, and he just, you go 4 candles, and he go, 4 candles. It was almost like that sketch from the two Ronnies. And then he did his green belt under me. And he said, well, if I can get a green belt, I can do anything. So then he went on to head the stores with a budget of 12 million quid. And this was 20 years ago, so it was a big budget, and he was in charge of all of that, and he did that within like a 2-year period.
Wow, that was all just of like, I can do that, so I can do this.
I can do that. And loads of that, and you get people come in. I've had people come in who are like being business tycoons with 3 degrees and 5 master's degrees, like really overqualified guys, but without any confidence, So we said a guy would train with me, and he'd have Ferraris, Lamborghinis, all of that. He'd come in a different car every day.
Yeah,
doing very well. But he said if a guy drove a truck into his yard, he'd hide in the office because he didn't have the confidence to go out and say, "Can't put the truck there."
Yeah.
Because the guy was more working class guy.
Sure.
And so over the course of about 2 years, I just used to spar with him a lot and just spar and just go,
get him used to being here.
Yeah, just calm down, really slowly, really gently, almost homeopathically, just gently building up, hold the pads, and then I talk to him in accents, because obviously he had a thing about accents, so I put on my Jamaican accent and my like working class accent, and I do those things to him, and I play like role play, and he'd hyper. He'd like, he'd hyperventilate, and I go, no, it's nothing. Look, it doesn't exist. It's just a voice.
Yeah,
keep hitting the pads, bang bang, and we go bang bang. No, man, I'm coming to get you. And he like, I'm coming to get you now, and he go, I go, no, look, it's just a voice, isn't it? Just don't bash me, And it was great. Within about 2 years, he was in a very competitive area.
Yeah.
All his friends were very big wigs, and very competitive. Oh, can we do that? Can we race this? Can we do that? It was like that, And he said he was out with them, and then they said, let's have a race to the top of the hill. And he said, and he was really timid, and he was, oh, no, I don't really want to. And then he started off with the race, and he said, I'm keeping up with them. And he went, and I'm not struggling. So then he started to go faster, and in the end, he did the hill, beat them all.
Yeah.
And he said, he said to me, I was on the top of the hill just jumping, almost like Rocky 2. And he said, it was all because of you. He said, just gave me the confidence.
Wow.
And also the training and the
physical
fitness.
training, yeah.
And he didn't train after that because he'd broken that
was
thing.
the goal.
Yeah, that was the goal, yeah.
Incredible,
yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, really interesting, because that's actually a big job, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not to take the people who come in who can do splits straight away and who go,
that's easy. Easy to make a physical specimen good.
Yeah, and also those guys often give up because it's too easy for them. Where you want the guy who hasn't got the skills, hasn't got the confidence, you build him, you start him, and then you go, come on, you can do this, and you build them, and then all of a sudden, 5 years later, they're just a monster, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you go, wow, that's just great to do.
Brilliant.
It can't be anything.
It is
better than that.
When you're training with a guy and you're like, this guy's actually a badass, and you remember 5 years ago, you couldn't do anything. It's crazy. Yeah. That is definitely one of the most rewarding things about teaching.
And I think that's it. That's the job, if there is one. Is to do that, turn them around.
Definitely. Anyway, let's go back to
starting teaching
to your karate stuff. And you were competing in karate, weren't you? And you want to talk about, because you competed at quite a high level. Yeah. You captained the national team. Go on.
So, I can remember I was a green belt. So the green belt back then, there was just almost like there is in jits now. There was just white, green, brown, black. That was it.
Oh, and they've added a lot more belts in since then.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was just about fighting back then.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of.
There
In
were
fact, the green and the
4
brown, the green and the brown were fairly recent additions. In the start, it was white and black.
Really?
That was it. Yeah.
It was just like you're a white belt.
You're a white belt
and now
until
you're good.
until we bashed her for a few years, and then
You're a black
You're a
belt.
black belt now. Yeah.
And now you can bash other people.
Yeah, you can bash other people. Yeah. And so that was it. And then I was a green belt, and Tiggy Donovan, who was national coach, was a brown belt.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you heard of him. You heard of Tiggy?
Recognise the name, yeah.
Tiggy Donovan was British national karate coach for about 30 years.
Wow.
He was, he was the best ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best coach he was, and he was my inspiration. And back then, there was one black belt in only, who was Peter Spanton, in our style anyway. And there were probably maybe 3 black belts in England back then.
Wow.
And anyway, they had a team. The team in the club said, "Oh, we're going to have a competition," and I said, "Oh, can I join the team?" They said, "No, you can't join. You're a green belt. You have to be a brown and black belt to join the team."
Yeah.
And anyway, the team formed up, and someone had been hurt, and they didn't have enough people. So I jumped in. That was my first competition.
Yeah.
You know, as a green belt, and then because obviously it was too deadly then, wasn't it? You could get killed. You know, or that's what we thought anyway.
It was, you joke, but it was a lot different from modern day karate.
Oh
right?
yeah, it was a lot different.
It was full contact.
Yeah, it was sort of it was you were supposed to pull.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
And to the stomach and the ribs, obviously, like you didn't that much, you know. But to the head, you were meant to control, just touch.
It was a touch.
But it was bare fist though.
Okay.
There wasn't any covering on your hand.
Punch?
Yeah, punch, kick,
Yeah.
Do everything. Yeah. But lots
The point
of
is to kind of it's point fighting, right?
Yeah, point fighting. Yeah.
It's just that speed is getting that hit on.
Yeah, getting the hit in. But loads of teeth got lost. Loads of teeth. Oh yeah.
From the kicks.
Yeah. The safest thing we did was to put gloves on and fight full contact.
Really?
Yeah.
But you kind of think without the gloves, you have less of a chance. You have more of a chance of pulling your punches, don't you? Because you're going to hurt your hand if you hit too hard with the bare fist.
No, really.
People didn't give a shit.
I think if you train properly, you can punch people in the head all day long, and you don't hurt your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends. If you hit them properly, most people don't hit them properly, so they hurt their hand.
Really?
You know, but I've hit loads of people in the head and
your hands are
hurt my
fine.
hand. Just a few bruises, just here and here and here and here.
Yeah.
But I think, it was dangerous because it was a trusting. I'm trusting you to pull.
Yeah.
And you're trusting me also to pull. So that was my start at teams, and then we did teams, and teams were great. I'm not sure if you do that in jiu-jitsu.
Do you know what?
Individual, isn't it?
We've just started doing
teams are the best ever.
They've just started an event which was premiered at the beginning. I think it was maybe April this year.
Yeah.
Called Quintet, which is teams of 5.
Yeah.
And you basically do winner stays on.
Yeah.
Is that the same as what you do in karate?
No, we used to do team of 5.
Yeah.
So you go on, you fight,
Yeah.
you'd score, so that it's 1-0. Then the next one would come, they win back, so it was 1-1.
Would you score it like I won the first match, so it's 1-0?
Yeah.
And then, or it wouldn't. Okay, so you wouldn't like add up the whole team's points.
No.
Okay.
So it was
just
like
a stroke
I won
play.
that one.
Yeah.
So it was straight like
Yeah.
who won that fight.
Okay.
And then you see who won. So it was great whether you were first or third or last. That's where I like to be. It'd be first, like as team captain. Because then
You think captain would always go first?
Generally,
Yeah.
because they'd always have their dude. Their top dude would be
That
like,
would be the captain. Okay. They would have
would
said
come
that
out.
first, yeah.
Although I've been in teams, we once fought Tiggy Donovan and Dickie Wu was on the film, on the team, and so that was really Ishinru, which was the British team, really. Ishin.
Yeah.
Back then, Tiki was the British team. It was great. They were the best. They were great.
Yeah.
And there was some of us who weren't as big as them were almost there, but so generally being like captain first. And the good thing about that is you go out and you set the standard. You just go, we're not having any of that bosh, and you bash them, and then they go, okay, even if you drew, you set like the tone of it, or you've gone, I'm not taking any crap, and then the next person would go out and he might not do too well, and then the third person you would say down, you had to hold, then you got to hold, come on, you got to hold, you can't lose this.
Sure.
And then you go out and sometimes it would be dead even, and you'd be the last person on the team, and they'd be going, it's down to you now, and you go out. And so I've done all of those. So I generally used to fight first or last, and that's great. It's just it's just great.
Yeah, because the grappling one that they're doing now, and it's getting quite big because it was just an exciting format compared to the standard format, is winner stays on.
Yeah.
So if you tap the person, you let's say you go first, you tap the person, you fight the second guy. If you tap him, you fight the third guy.
Wow.
And now you draw, so you're both out. And then the next guy comes on, So you could have one guy could take out the whole team, or you have like one guy wins and then the second one beats him back. And then
the only trouble with that is by the time you get to 3, you're tired.
Well, that's
the other guy comes in and wins.
That's the thing. But
and
then,
he wins the whole thing.
But then the second guy comes on.
Yeah.
So it's actually a really interesting format.
Yeah. But I used to love teams.
Yeah.
Teams, there's a shared responsibility.
Yeah, the camaraderie there as well.
The camaraderie is great and forever.
Yeah.
If you've fought in a big tournament, like we fought in the England team against the Japs, and the Japs up till then were beaten. The Japs have beaten everyone.
Did you beat? Did you?
Yeah, we beat them. Yeah, we beat them. Yeah.
Wow.
First guy out, I kicked him in the stomach so hard.
This is whilst you were captain?
Yeah. So the first guy came out, I kicked him so hard in the stomach, bent him double, and he hit my fist. He bent over and hit my fist. I didn't really punch him.
Oh, really?
Well, 50-50.
But you kicked him onto your punch.
Yeah, I kicked him on a punch because I had a great front kick back then.
Front kick, okay.
Front kick. I had a great front kick.
Yeah.
I had one of those front kicks. I always joke in the class. I said I had a front kick that was like a drunken father. You see him come home blooded, but you wouldn't see him go out. You know what I mean? Just see him come back with blood on him and go, "What have you been doing?"
I like that.
It was like it was. I only saw it coming back. It was it almost had a life of its own. It would just bang.
That's awesome.
It was fabulous. I had it for about probably 5 years. I had a really fabulous front kick.
Yeah.
From training in Japan. Because you just did thousands. It was like
so when did you go over? When did you go over to Japan to train?
73, I think.
And how long were you over there for?
Oh, not for long. 4 months or so.
What was the training like?
Oh, training was brutal. Yeah,
really.
Like 4 hours a day.
That was a big difference to what you were used to in the UK.
Yeah, hugely different. We didn't do anything fancy. You just did
simple basics, but just
lots of conditioning and 1,000. You do an hour of up and down. Like karate up and down, an hour. Then you do
what would the up and down be?
Oh, punching and kicking.
Okay. Yeah.
Then you stand on the spot and kick for like almost an hour.
Really?
Just front kick. Front kick, round kick. Then you go outside and put the iron boots on and kick again, front kick.
Yeah.
Then you go and have a run all over the streets, all bare feet.
Yeah.
Then we go to a place called Yasukuni Jinja, which is like the war shrine there, and so it's all like gravel. So you'd have to run up that in bare feet.
There's all the conditioning the feet for.
Yeah, and just conditioning you to be quite stoic, Then the black belts would stop and have a fag.
Yeah, really.
And then the white belts would have to be over there. They'd have to just sit and wait. Or
back in the day, they didn't think that the having a cigarette wasn't a big issue, right? It didn't affect the cardio or anything.
No. All the Japs all smoke.
Yeah, it's quite big over there, isn't it?
It's quite big. Even now, I think it's still quite big. And yeah, so that was it. So you did that, and then you come back, and then you need to do conditioning, circuit training, till you like spewed up, and then
what sort of stuff would they do?
Oh, basic stuff, just jumping over table, jumping over
body
boxes, body weight stuff.
Yeah,
nothing like they're doing now. Just quite basic.
It's so interesting to hear about that old school strength conditioning stuff. Yeah.
Well, I think almost you don't need. You don't need fancy stuff. You
Just like work hard.
You just have to work hard, don't you?
Yeah.
Because what happened was the head coach Tanabe came in and just said, "You're all rubbish. You can't compete for the club because you're just not fit enough." And so he came in. He was a Scotch drinking guy, and he just beat up the whole club.
Really?
Yeah, beat up. Yeah, fabulous timing.
Yeah.
Just timing. He came from a line of the Tanabe brothers. So we were brothers. They'd all been head coach at the club.
Yeah.
Nichidai. I went to Nihon Daigaku. Nihon University.
Yeah.
Karate club.
Yeah.
And it's in the basement, and they have sumo, judo, and then karate halls.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 hours every day. Yeah.
Wow.
And then sometimes if we had the energy and we weren't trembling afterwards, because often we'd be like, you'd be trying to drink a beer and you'd be going like this, afterwards. And then we'd sometimes go and train with Yamaguchi. And Gogen Yamaguchi was called the Cat. He is a very famous karate guy, and so we go and train at his place in the evening. But not always, because sometimes we'd be just knackered.
Yeah.
It was great.
That sounds. But so then you come back and then you lead the British team to victory. The English team to victory against the Japanese.
Yeah.
That must have been insane to beat, because.
Yeah, it was good.
I was a
co-captain with what was the guy's name? All right, it escapes me now. Cronin. Cronin and I were like joint team captains. So, and he used to be in the Navy gun team. The guys who take the gun and take it apart and carry it. And do all that. So he was super fit. So it was a great team. Yeah.
So then, how did you move on from karate to?
I was always intrigued. Even back then, I was always the blaze thing, the modesty blaze thing. This thing of having no barriers.
Yeah.
To combat.
Yeah.
Because I was always into that. Because I'd seen street fights and stuff like that, and so
like the true no rules.
Yeah. So
anything
before
goes.
anything, we were doing that in 70, 71 maybe. Started to say, well, why don't we just headlock you and take you on the ground?
You were sparring full contact with no rules?
Yeah, not full contact, like controlling to the head.
Yeah.
But then I said, well, as we were in, because what you used to do in karate, if you sweat them, then you punch them on the ground, punch them in the groin, punch them in the ribs, or punch them in the head, or something like that.
You do that in karate?
Yeah, or you stomp them on the ground.
When a guy's on the ground?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you stomp them, you sweep them and bash them, because that would be ippon.
Yeah. Oh, no way.
Yeah, so you get a whole score. So you punch it. If you swept the guy in, so it swept him, and so you hold him one leg and you punch him in the groin, then that's ippon, isn't it? He's out of the
Would they do that? They go for the punch of the punch of the groin?
Depending on how you threw him. If you swept him like that.
But that was fine.
Yeah, it was fine, yeah.
Now you're hoping someone pulls their punches when you're punching them to the face.
Yeah.
But you're really hoping they pull their punches when they're punching you to the groin, right?
Yeah. Well, for all of those. I think competition then was quite brutal, because if you go...
It sounds like it was brutal.
It was all right most of the time. But Steve Cattle, who was the second British champion, first British champion was Danny Connors, who also trained in Japan at Nichidai, and he owned Oriental World in Manchester.
Okay,
and he became a Tai Chi guy, and he was excellent. He was very well known. He's since passed away, as has Steve Cattle. Steve Cattle won the British Championships. I think he got knocked out 5 times. They carried him out in a chair about, I saw 2 or 3 times.
He won?
He won, yeah.
After getting knocked out 5 times?
Oh, yeah, because disqualification, you meant to control.
Oh.
So he's knocked out. They put him in a chair, carry him off.
Oh, my God.
Wave salt under his nose. Okay, do you want to get another go? Because he's been disqualified. Okay, yeah, I'm back on. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So it was like, it was just... And teeth flying everywhere.
That sounds like it's straight out of a cartoon, Some guy just comes in, gets knocked out.
And if you saw Steve Cattle was like bald head, like with a comb over, like glasses, but just game as anything,
Really?
Yeah.
What on earth is that? One second. Okay, we're back in.
Yeah,
yes,
there we go.
Perfect. So we were talking about... What were we talking about? We're talking about karate being brutal.
Yeah, it was fairly brutal. It was just a different age. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, a different age. I mean, we used to have some really good teams and have like inter-club competitions, which were quite tough. You know, I can remember 1970s. Most of the 70s, I walked around with broken toes. You know, because you kick people with bare feet, and obviously, like your toes would be broken all the time. You know? So I'd always have like, you know, something taped together, you know, or something like, you know. And back then, you used to break wood and stuff like that as well in demonstrations, you know. So you'd always do your hands up doing something like that.
So where that wood breaking, the board breaking, like, do you know the history on that stuff? Like,
no, not really. It was just a thing that people did. Yeah, but
was that like that traditional out of Japan? They would do that.
Yeah, I think so, because they brought it over. But you do that if you did a demo in the park.
Yeah. They wouldn't do it as part of the training, or I guess you train to do the demo in the park.
No, but that's it. You wouldn't train that much. Just like you just say, "Oh, you come in, we'll do that, and break a board there, chop that, psychic that, and just do it." But it's good. It
looks impressive.
Yeah, it was hard to do,
and it brought a lot. I guess it probably brought a lot of people into the sport.
Load of people, and harder to do than you think. You know? And obviously, then it became like a bit of a circus thing. People would have like piles of ice and things like that. Where ice is very fragile. It's still hard to do.
Yeah.
But
the whole thing is the spaces, isn't it?
Yeah. So then the other bits of break. Yeah. But I remember we did one in Welling Garden City or Hatfield, and then we went to an Irish working man's club. Yeah. And all these paddies are there, and they said, "Oh, we've got some wood for you to break," you know, and someone said, "Oh no, I've got the wood." Of course, it had been in his gardens; it was all wet. Yeah. And it was you had to break a 2-inch bit of wood, maybe just a bit over 2 inches. Yeah. You go with a punch. I remember punching it so hard, and it just went.
This was the guy who brought the wood in.
Yeah, the guy who brought the wood in.
So in the end, you were like, okay, yeah, let's give it a go.
Yeah, let's give it a go. And I remember hitting it so hard, and going, bang, and going, that's not gone. Oh. So we're going, right, got to double down on it and doing it again and going, dong, and then that's not doing it, and then breaking it with an elbow.
You break it,
and then my hand. I spent about a year afterwards. My hand just like scarring on the knuckles. But I used to have a friend who'd do 2 inches of wood with his fingertips.
Really?
Yeah.
It's impressive. You've got to give it. It's very impressive.
I always looked at it and thought, I don't want to do that. I break my fingers. But he was, he was a dude. You know,
you have a guy who does coconuts with one finger.
Yeah.
Insane. That's insane stuff.
Then the only thing was you had guys then who'd say, "Oh no, I break boards and I do all my katas and my things like that," and they were never fighting. They were never sparring.
Yeah.
So it wasn't long.
It's got to be one component. Yeah.
It's all right if you say, "Oh, I just do that." It's a component. And I'll bring it back into, you know, whatever. But it's that thing about a reactive opponent, isn't it? An opponent who's alive and moving. And I think what's inherent in all arts is not average people, but people on the whole want to have it easier than they like it. Yeah. So therefore, like you get it in jits where people do like flows, don't they? Like I pass a guard, a crossbody, I do that. I come on top, you bridge me off, I do this, but and we've got like a little kata. Like
it is like a kata,
thing, and that's great to learn
techniques and movements,
learn your roots and how to move. It's really important. But I think loads of people stay there. And they don't want to go to the next level where you say, okay, I won't let you pass a guard. And then when you do crossbody, I'm going to try and get I'm going to try and get you off.
But that's the beauty of jiu-jitsu is that most of the time you're sparring. Yeah. You know,
it is the beauty of jits. Yeah. But you see other martial arts where they just want, the list and they don't really want that.
They don't want the hard part, They don't want the fighing back.
Yeah,
boards don't hit back, right? That's
boards don't hit back, and they want people who hold their arm out.
Yeah.
So anyway, so karate changed about 70. Bruce died when he was 74, but it started from about 70, 71.
Yeah. You were doing it, or it's like the karate started changing?
I was changing a bit. I remember people saying to me, "We can't get on the floor. We've got white suits on." I was going, "Oh no, let's get on the floor and grapple." So I was grappling with farmers and things like that back then.
You were already doing grappling?
Yeah.
Was this just
grappling,
why?
just because it was real. It's like just you knew.
You were just aware. You were just aware, like this is something that happens in real life. So I've got to practice it.
And so I was
you
doing that.
weren't being taught it or anything.
No, I wasn't taught. I got old judo books by Eric.
Okay, I guess you got the Niwaza and stuff like that. Yeah.
I got judo books in the start from Eric Domini, people like that, and I just went, let's try it. Let's get on the floor. Okay, that doesn't work, and then as a result, I got quite a nice Keiser Gatami. Because everyone says to me, "Oh, your Keiser Gatami is really, really heavy."
That's because you were doing it on farmers.
Farmers, yeah.
So wait, we can't gloss over that. You just go and find farmers. And
no. We had a guy called Phil Gabau who was a farmer. He used to chain himself to a bag with a friend, and he was just a big farm boy. He just liked to fight, and so
wait, finish that story. He used to chain himself to a bag.
To a bag, yeah.
A bag of what?
No, a punch bag. Him and a friend, they chain themselves to the bag and they like fight with the bag. It was primitive, It was.
Did they have that farmer strength?
Oh yeah,
really?
It's strength, but it was good because you used a tiny bit of technique on them and trounced them. But it was great because you were just on the ground fighting,
Awesome.
And then I was very fortunate. Into my club came a very I say Hiram Holiday, but no one would know who Hiram Holiday was. But back in the 50s, there was like a character called Hiram Holiday. It was like a bespectacled, like timid guy, but it was actually quite awesome. It was like a TV character. Well, he came in this very sort of timid, oh, hello, quite diffident. He said, oh, do you think I could join? And he'd shake his head like this. Do you think I could join? He was a bit like an eager puppy, and we said, why don't you come in? And, well, he was just a beast.
Really? He'd already been training, or?
Well, it turns out his dad was British Empire champion at boxing. His brother was ABA champion. He was an ABA finalist. He was Kenshiro Abe's top judo student.
Oh, okay.
And so Kenshiro Abe
was a boxer and a judo guy.
Yeah, so Kenshiro Abe was the guy who fought Anton Giesink. Okay. Anton Giesink was like 7 foot, 6 foot something or other, and won the first Olympic judo gold. And Kenshiro Abe was about 5 foot.
Wow!
So Kenshiro Abe fought him, and people argue about who won, but just that Kenshiro Abe was like an 8th dan or in judo, and he was teaching, and Pat was one of his top students.
Wow!
But what a lovely man! But he was a lovely, very very polite, very very courteous.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was a wonderful class.
Yeah,
and like that.
But a badass.
Oh, a complete badass.
Yeah.
So you kick him in the groin, because that was under pressure. That's what I always do. We always kick him in the groin, like groin kick him. And he kicked him, and he just went, whew. Laughed, and then slapped me around the face.
You say like you kicked him in the groin. Like this is when you guys are sparring.
Yeah,
you'd spar with. Would you have a cup on?
No.
How hard would you kick him in the groin?
Only a tap,
But still, that's wild.
Yeah. I never wore a box ever. Never wore a box.
Okay, not wearing a box is one thing, but you guys are purposely trying to kick each other in the groin.
It was back in the day in competition.
Wait, could you do that in judo in karate competitions?
In the beginning, you could. Up
that
to
is
about 1970, you could get away. You could score with a groin kick.
Wow, that's crazy.
And then I remember fighting in the quarterfinals, and I did this lovely guy came in with a high round kick. I stepped aside and like groin kicked him. It was fantastic. And they went, "No, you can't score with that." I remember, I've always done it before.
Yeah, they changed the rules.
I'm not sure about the rules. Maybe it was my bad interpretation of the rules. But I don't know. But so we did that, and then I gave him a tap in the groin as if to say, like, keep away. He just slapped me around the face.
Really?
And giggled. And I went, wow, who are you? And I got talking to him, and he said, I do a bit of judo. He was one of those guys who you say, you look like you've done a bit before. And he's going, oh, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
And then, well, I've done a bit of boxing, yeah. And you go, oh, okay, you're an ABA finalist. And your brother's ABA champion, and your dad's British Empire champion. And you're like, oh, yeah, so he was great. So he injured his back, but he was in that case. I did 1,000 of those last night. Those high round kicks, fabulous, aren't they? I've done 1,000.
Wow!
I was on a big shift, so I just broke it up into hundreds and just did them. And we were going, wow. So we'd have this team we'd send out, and we had Crazy Bob. Crazy Bob would come from the Maudsley Hospital, I think. It was at the psychiatric wing.
Oh, he was actually crazy.
Well, he wasn't crazy. We just had some anxiety issues.
Okay.
He was one of those guys.
Crazy Bob, okay.
But Crazy Bob, and he was a bit like a pressure cooker.
Sure.
And so they both had white belts on, him and Pat. And so we got 2 black belts, me and my friend Jeff Britton, who was my student, but then he got his black belt. He was he used to play the drums for Paul McCartney.
Okay.
Yeah, like for Wings,
Yeah.
And we send these teams out, and we'd have Crazy Bob, and Pat, and so they go, oh well, we fought the black belt, we fought the brown belt. There's another black belt to come, and there's 2 white belts.
Yeah.
And of course, there's 2 white belts. They're both killers. Right? So we just go. Pat would like sweep them and throw them and bash them on the floor.
They'd kick him in the nuts, and he'd laugh at him.
Crazy Bob would just go. It was fabulous. It was great. It didn't last for long, but it was, at the time it was just great, And it was just good. They were good times. I like the team competitions were great.
Yeah, they are. So I think we were talking just before we stopped was your transition out of karate.
Out of karate. But so I started doing that, and I was always interested in other stuff. I was always started in the ground, and then I used to go on my own to Chinatown whenever that was, 70s sometime, early 70s, and go to like the Chinese cinemas at 12 at night to watch Bruce Lee films.
Yeah.
Well, before Bruce Lee came out, because the Big Boss came out, and I've been there for about a year then, watching kung fu films.
Yeah.
And been the only white person in there. Although now I hear loads of other white people were there, but I didn't see them when I was there. They would say, I was there as well in 70s. There were a couple of places, but predominantly like Chinese waiters. And then the Big Boss came out with Bruce Lee. And I remember thinking, wow. And then at the same time, there were the articles about Bruce Lee, about how he was developing
this JKD
stuff. And for lots of us, they're going, well, nobody does that.
Yeah.
What he was saying was the classical mess.
Yeah.
None of us did that. We all fought. We were all like fighters. So we were closer to what he was doing anyway. He termed Jeet Kun Do.
Yeah.
So we weren't trapped in that classical mess anyway. We weren't like doing Chinese kung fu where it was all classical stances. It was more, we were fighting predominantly with a rear hand, rear leg sort of
that karate background.
Yeah, because you want big hits. If you look at some of the African styles, they're based on that. They sometimes put a big cestus. You know what a cestus is? Like you tape up your hand with padding, so it's like a brick.
Yeah.
And that's
with just one hand.
One hand, and they fight like
that. That was
Art
Jimmerson in UFC 1. Did you ever see that?
No.
The first fight that Hoyce ever had.
Yeah.
He fought a boxer called Art Jimmerson. He comes out with just one glove on.
Yeah.
Because he was going, I'm going to knock him out with that. Of course, he gets taken down straight away.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's all about hitting that big power.
But the Africans have a big thing where they bandage their head up.
Okay.
And they put this like a brick out their right hand, and they just like fight with that, So it's all about timing and distance.
So what they use the first hand sort of to parry and defend,
parry it off, and hit hardware. So karate back then was quite a lot like that. You still have round kicks off the lead and round kicks off the back, but and side kicks, but it was like a big hitting thing. I used to jab them a lot, jab people, which I still do, and reverse punch them from the back, but. Then we all we looked at Bruce and we thought, well, we're sort of doing what he's doing, but we're not exactly. So about 70, Bruce started in 74. And then, but there was still the articles coming out about Jeet Kun Do and all that, and they started about then. And
he had started something big at that point.
Oh, he started big, because Enter the Dragon, that whole thing about, well, it was MMA. He started MMA, really. That whole thing.
He even had like the different gloves on. The gloves with the fingers.
That was just awe-inspiring. Yeah. But we were set ahead in there. You got to realise, cometh the man, cometh the time, or cometh the time, cometh the man.
Yeah.
So historians always talk about, was it the man or the age? And there's there's arguments. It's like was it Hitler or was it the Times that generated? If they hadn't generated Hitler, they would have generated somebody else of that ilk.
Yeah.
Although I think Hitler was probably a bit of a one-off.
Yeah. But yeah, so you're sort of saying like
we were all doing that.
Everyone was aiming,
we were all going that way.
combining everything together.
Yeah, I did a film with Joseph Cheng back then. Joseph Cheng was a noted Wing Chun practitioner, and we were bad guys in a film. Terrible film.
Yeah.
Terrible film. I was the blind man at King's Cross. Go and see the blind man at King's Cross. He will sort you out.
Okay.
And this actor came up and I had to say, "Come with me," and I walk off with him, and then we bundle him into a car or something like that. We were the heavies.
Yeah.
Terrible film. But it was fun. So we were just in these country houses for weeks on end. So
this was on set?
On set. So all Joseph and I did was train together.
Yeah.
Because he did Wing Chun, but his Wing Chun was changing, and he was into Thai boxing, he was into left hooking, because he said, no, you can't handle the left hook.
That's a lead left.
Yeah, lead left, yeah. I hit everyone with a left hook. I've got a famed left hook.
Yeah.
And so we did that. So there was that interchange was starting to happen. All the barriers were sort of breaking.
Yeah.
And so we were all intrigued, because the world was, the world was totally open now. But then the world was very closed and just starting to open up. Yeah? And
people were starting to get connected, and they were seeing what other people were doing.
People and saying, "Oh, how'd you do that?"
Yeah.
So I can remember fighting Joseph in Raymond Cheng's, was it, musical instrument shop in Earlham Street in Chinatown.
Fighting him in the music shop.
In the music shop, there's all these Chinese instruments all up, and then we just went, "Well, let's go, boom!" And we were just bashing each other, up and down the centre of the shop.
No, there needs to be more backstory to that.
No. It was just thing. Well, let's see if it works. But I think he would have beaten me, because he was using finger jabs and I was using punches. But we were evens, it was even Steven. Yeah?
Wait, you just gloss over these too fast. you were just in a shop?
In a shop. I happened to meet him in a shop.
Oh, you just bumped into him?
Yeah. Oh, how you doing?
Should we have a little spar?
Yeah, a spar, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did the shopkeeper say?
I don't know. We just, it was mad.
It's brilliant. I love it. But you just throw away comments. Yeah, we had a fight in a music shop. Like, whoa. Hold up there. We're going to do more than that.
Well, we were always doing crazy things. So it was good. I mean, back then, so it was changing. And then how I got into Jeet Kun Do was probably about 1977. Dan Inosanto was out on the scene, and I'd see the Black Belt magazines with him in it.
Yeah.
And I was we were doing boxing there, because I got into boxing. Got into boxing quite heavily. We used to do a bit back in the day, but dabbling really, not really doing it. And then I was in the hospital being treated for some hip injury or something like that I'd done. And there was this black guy there, and we got chatting, and he said, "Yeah, what are you in for?" And I said, "I'm in for this." And he said, "Oh, I'm in for an injured hand or whatever." And he goes, "What are you doing, man?" I said, "Well, I do karate." He said, "I box." I said, "Oh, I'm really interested in, learning to box." He said, "Well, come on, we're just trained together."
Yeah.
And he'd been, his name was Clarence Prince, and it was great. He was Terry Downs' sparring partner when Terry Downs was going to fight Sugar Ray Robinson.
Okay.
And Sugar Ray Robinson was one of the
greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
And I mean, if you watch him dance with Gene Kelly on YouTube, Gene Kelly looks leaden-footed compared to Sugar Ray. And they're both tap dancing.
Yeah.
And he's out dancing Gene Kelly. He's amazing.
Crazy.
And so he'd been Terry Downs' sparring partner, because he fought like Sugar Ray. He had a lovely left hook, and he'd ball and weave and come in. So I trained with him for a good few years. We just trained 3 times a week up in up in Highgate where the old pub was there.
Okay.
Terrible, dirty gym. The ring was just dirty. Everywhere was
Held
dirty.
together by tape.
Yeah, it was all horrible.
Yeah.
You know, gaffer tape everywhere. You know, gaffer tape hell. And so we trained, and then, and he was very gentle because I needed a bit of rebuilding, and I was a bit broken at the time.
Physically.
I think mentally a bit traumatized. You know, I'd done lots of competition. I think coming back from Japan in '74, I came back a bit PTSD'd. I was
Really?
Yeah, I was. I think I got very hungry over there and isolated. Yeah.
Drives you a bit wild.
Yeah, and I was on my own over there.
And there's a big language barrier in Japan.
Huge language barrier.
Did you speak much Japanese?
No,
or?
and I had a stammer as well, which made it even worse. And then we were training for 4 or 5 hours a day on top, and then getting bashed, you know. Or not in the start. In the start, we were bashing them, but as I got hungrier because I was only eating ramen
you mean
noodles.
You mean physically hungry? Like
physically hungry.
You weren't eating properly.
No, didn't have any money.
Yeah, wow.
I was eating ramen noodles every day with you get a little sachet of soup that goes with it. That was it.
Wow.
That was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah,
to fuel your 4 hours of intense karate.
Yeah. And so I think I came back a bit. Looking back now, a bit PTSD'd. You know, 'cause I remember just at the end, we walked in one day and we'd been ripping them up. You know, not really having a lot of problems, although the training was very hard. And I walked in one day and they all had the look. I thought, oh, I know what's going to happen today. It's bash us day. You know, they had orders. You know,
really?
We don't care what
Bash English guys.
Bashing English guys.
Wow.
And so it was like we all came out there with black eyes, and you know, it was just let's test them out. You know? Which was fine. But I think being hungry and isolated wasn't particularly good.
Yeah, sounds horrible,
particularly as a young guy, because I was 24, hadn't been out of the house before. Really, looking back now, I think I was. So I came back to England, and I was still competing, but I was scared stiff.
Wow.
For about 2 years, I was just scared, absolutely shitless. Yeah. So
of competing.
Yeah, but I'd still turn up, still compete, but I'd be totally bricking it.
You wouldn't? Did it affect your performances?
No, I actually fought superbly. I really fought the best I ever fought.
That's so strange, isn't it?
Just on, because I was just wanting to go home and
really?
go, Mum, you know?
Yeah.
Mum, you know, it was like that. And they go, you're on now, and I go, okay, and I go out thinking, oh shit, I just don't want to be here. You know,
I'm gonna bash this guy real fast and head home.
Yeah, and just head home. Yeah.
Wow.
I was just scared stiff for about 2 years. Yeah.
But you think that's so interesting that you feel that was your strongest ever performances?
Yeah.
But do you think that was because that was just happened to coincide with you being at the top of your, like, you know, you were just
top my game as well.
Yeah.
But also,
like, because you're saying it's like almost like that extreme fear is almost like a performance enhancer.
Yeah, in
Whereas
a way.
You would usually think that it would be a negative to your performance.
I think we did it simplified all of your options down. You know, you weren't going to do anything fancy. You just, it was all timing. You go, no, now. You know, so I thought, great.
That's fascinating.
I put come up to me and said, I've never seen anybody with such fast hands. And I was going, yeah, okay. And I go and teach a seminar.
Yeah.
But feeling like a bit of a bluffer.
Yeah.
Because I was scared. And I now understand guys who've got PTSD because they go to war, they're out of there. You know, they've come from Hartlepool.
Yeah.
You know, they've grown up at home with their mum, and then they're in Afghanistan kicking a pit, which is a big difference to what I had. I was in Japan.
But like the mental battle is still the same.
Yeah.
It can still be the same.
And it's bad food, you know, it's all those things happening. And so it took me about 2 years, and the boxing with Clarence really, really helped. He was very gentle. No, come on, we'll do loads of out-of-distance stuff. And you just get used to moving. He was going, no, you got to move like this, you know. Get the riggy in your jeggy, you know. And he said, man, you move like a honky. You know, it's like he's got no hips, he's got no waist. You know, and so it was good. So I really got very loose and very soft and round. You know?
Very different style to what you used, like karate. That real movement based and footwork based style of boxing.
And it was interesting that doing that transition, I sparred a lot, but actually I got hit a lot because I was transitioning. I was changing.
You were going from one thing to another.
One thing to another. And so I remember the great Tai Chi teacher Chen Man Ching said you have to invest in loss. So that's what I did. I invested in loss. I just went, no, I'm working my jab and my left hook, and it didn't work that well for about a year or so.
And then it did.
And then I started to knock everyone. Will it catch everyone?
There's a lesson in there which I think is so important for so many people, especially in jiu-jitsu, which is people have a bad habit, and I'm sure it's in every single martial art, but you get your pet moves, the moves that you're good at, and then instead of doing any other moves, you just stick with the stuff that you're good at. And because the stuff that you're good at, your skill level overall is not going to progress because you're not improving any of the aspects of your game. So let's say you're just someone who likes to pass guard, but you're terrible off your back. Because you bash everyone up when you're on top and you lose to everyone when you're in your back, you never let yourself go on your back, which means you're never going to get good at being off your back.
No, absolutely.
So investing in loss.
Totally.
It's such a really important thing. You need to look, if you start,
and you need to humble yourself.
Yeah. I try and tell this to so many people, like, look, actually, even stop caring about what your performance is for the next 6 months and worry about what your performance is going to be in a few years.
I think it's also important how hard you go. Because if you go hard, you can't take risks. So I say to guys, you have to go easier. You know the same, like the white belt thing. You go with a white belt, so they want to rip your head off.
Chill out a little bit.
Where if you go with good black belts, I've been with Hickam Machado and John Machado and people like that, and I don't even feel them. They're just like, hey, my friend, I'm going to tap. Oh, my friend, you are so good. Oh, I'm so lucky. You know that whole thing of like luring you in. You think, I'm going to get Hickam Machado in a jug, and suddenly you go, oh, I'm flying through the air, but very gently. And so I think doing stuff gently and not and tapping early. You got me. Move on, because it's seeing the bigger game, isn't it? And the big thing I talk about now with my online is it's about data, mass data, big data. So if I go hard all the time, my data set's tiny. And I'm doing the same stuff all the time. Where if I go easy and we're laughing and we're joking, I do weird things that I would never try, and I go, oh, I found something. So I'm on a journey of discovery. And I'm getting big data. So my ability to see when your hip starts to move. Not even on a way that I can consciously see it, but I just know. People say, "How'd you know that?" I go,
"It's in there, deep."
I don't know. I just knew. I did something the other day, and someone said to me, "I've never seen that encounter before." I said, "No, I haven't either."
100%.
Just like you did that, I did this. It wasn't. Well, I wasn't thinking about it. It was.
It's instinct. It's so interesting to hear you talk about it, because it's something that I experience as well, and I'm sure every high level, like you've got your. It's almost like the universe and the observable universe. Like
totally.
The observable universe is the techniques that you could explain to someone because you know what you're doing. And then the rest outside of that, there's still stuff out there.
Absolutely.
But you don't know what it is.
No, you don't know what it is.
And you can still do things where, what the hell was that? And I go, I don't know. Should we try and work it out? Because I don't have a clue what happened either. I just did it.
I just did it.
So interesting to hear you talk about that as well.
That's the best bit. That's the creative bit. And like all creativity, it's not something that you do, it's something that comes through you. It's almost channeled. You just channel it. And as soon as you let go about, I've got to be great, I've got to be this, I've got to be that, about your ego.
Worry too much about who you're beating on the day.
Yeah. I think that whole thing is sort of wrong. So good thing with training with Clarence on the boxing, he was quite gentle. We did loads of gentle stuff, lots of close quarter fighting, which I do lots of now. So you're in that area. But what he had was marvelous. I used to think he was an old guy. He's about 45. I'm 69 now. So but I used to say, look at him, I can't see him. And I used to get all the black belts and I said, come and train with him. I said, tell me when you see him come. And he wouldn't see me. He'd be right at this distance like we are now, and he'd be right next to you, left hooking you in there, and you're thinking, hang on, what happened in that interim? I never saw him move. And he wouldn't move fast. He was just
so smooth.
He moved invisibly. And so that was a thing that I try and do now. So it's not, you don't want to travel, you want to arrive. And
teleporting into places.
And almost like what guys do, they tense up and you see you see leaps. You see leaps because they're unusual, but you don't see walking. Walking is so natural.
Yeah. Okay.
That you don't see it. It's invisible to you. So obviously I had bad hips back then. So I had bad hips till 2001. So I couldn't jump in a lot, So I had to just walk in.
That's really interesting.
And hit people. And I'd hit loads of people and they'd go, I didn't even see you.
You wouldn't see it because people are so used to seeing people walk.
Yeah.
So if you walk down the street and someone was doing was walking down like they were shooting double leg takedowns, then you're going to spot that out of the ordinary.
Yeah. But if
really
you just so the more ordinary you can become, the harder you are to see. The harder you are to, it just people don't see you come.
Yeah.
Or go. And also, it's the fastest way there. People think leaping and jumping is. And it's really interesting that Miyamoto Musashi says in the Book of Five Rings, investigate walking. He goes, this is the way to really, to really kill people.
Wow.
Investigate walking. Because people, it's an everyday thing. And it's quick.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't walk to work like bouncing. You walk to work like you walk to work. And so I investigate lots of that, and lots of footwork drills, and making them look
natural.
Normal.
Yeah.
So you can't see people,
Wow. Like you're hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, hiding in plain sight. Yeah. So that's
really
a really interesting
yes.
thing. So he was great at that, and I trained with him for a few years. That was just excellent, and that changed me into. Then in '78, I met a guy called Jeet Breen, and Jeet Breen was had a flat in Highbury, and I'd ordered a phone, and a guy came, and I was in the magazines back then because I used to teach the guy. A guy who was my private student was a guy called Jeffrey Roth, and Jeffrey Roth, I used to go out to Maidenhead and teach him at his house. And he was a guy who came to karate. Within 2 times coming, he said, "Who makes the suits?" And I said, "Oh, we get them off a guy in South Kensington, a Japanese guy." And he went, "How much do you pay for them?" And we went, within 2 weeks, he had suits.
Really?
Made it. How about these ones? They're half the price. Would you be interested in being? Yeah, they're really good. So he was like an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And I used to go and teach him, and he was good fun. He was a lovely guy. And we were in the car one day, and I was reading Karate on Oriental Arts, which was quite a nice magazine, quite into Wing Chun and traditional. It was a bit traditional, and it was into Ikebana, anything Oriental, tea ceremony.
Yeah.
And I went, just needs something a bit more combat. And Jeff went,
combat.
Do you think so? So he came back with combat. He came back with a header for combat 2 weeks later. He said, look, this is the strap
so
header.
That was combat was from you?
Yeah, combat was from me.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was going to be on the first issue, in which was 74, I think, and then a guy called Bruce Lee brought out Enter the Dragon, so he supplied me on the cover, bastard.
Do you know what?
He wasn't bad, though. He wasn't bad. I can't argue, really, but he was...
I was meant to be on the front cover of the first issue of Jiu-Jitsu Style.
Yeah.
And Mark Walder kicked me off, and I never made it back on. My goal was always to be on the front cover of Jiu-Jitsu Style, and now they don't even make it anymore, so that's one goal that I'll never achieve.
No, same. Yeah.
I'm sure you got on the cover of Combat, though.
I did,
Yeah.
I did a few combats, and a few fine arts, and a few
I'm sure I owned a few magazines with you on the front cover of,
back in the day, yeah. And so I used to teach him, and combat came around. But he anyway. Going back to the phone engineer, he had the phone installed, and he said, "You're Bobby Breen, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Jeet Breen. I do Escrima." I said, "Oh, I'm interested in Escrima." I was interested in everything.
So you hadn't started JKD at this point?
No.
Okay.
No. I was
like you were a karate guy.
Yeah. I was a karate guy. Boxer,
boxing,
karate guy.
Yeah, boxer.
So I was
boxing, karate.
So back then we dropped the suits.
Yeah.
And we just had like karate trousers.
Yeah.
belts and a t-shirt,
Okay.
and big 12-ounce
Yeah,
gloves. So
yeah.
we were at the start of really pioneered every trend, really. Like the PKA, Professional Karate Association, full contact.
Yeah.
Organised the first full contact matches in Britain with
Karate matches.
Jeffrey Roth.
Yeah.
Well, no, full contact kickboxing.
Okay, yeah, because that's quite the trousers and the belt and the gloves.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
kickboxing.
that was like Kides was doing that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So pioneered all that.
Wow.
With George Svetas, who I used to hire. I used to employ him at the time, George, and he did that. He became the PKA representative, and that was very blingy and then Jay said to me, I do Escrima. So we went to this little hut they had in Hackney, and there was about 6 of us maybe, and Bill Newman, Jay Dobrin and I. But meanwhile, before that, I'd written to Dan Inosanto and said, would you like to come to England and do something here? And I didn't hear anything.
So you knew about JKD at this point, but you hadn't studied it.
Yeah, I hadn't studied it.
Sure.
We
And that's because there's nothing. There was
we
no
were
UK.
doing like a hybrid style.
Yeah.
Which
that same philosophy of JKD, that hybrid style.
We were just doing a hybrid before.
Yeah.
We were doing JKD before it was called JKD.
Yeah.
Like we were doing our own version of it. Bit of boxing, bit of grappling, bit
cross training. Yeah.
Bit of this, bit of that. Yeah. And then I thought, sticks, because I don't do the sticks. So
you hadn't done any weapon stuff at this point.
No, not really. I'd done some traditional Okinawan kobudo in Naue, my friend John, who I was in Japan with.
Okay.
Which was nice, but a bit formal. But interesting, very interesting. Knuckle dusters, spikes, needles,
really,
big sticks, small sticks, tomfa, sai, all of that.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. Yeah. And obviously I'd seen lots of that stuff before when I was in Japan, because we met Don F. Drager when I was in Japan. I'm not sure if you ever heard of Drager.
No.
Drager was like 5th Dan Judo, friends with Isaac Inakuma, Akano, all of those guys. And he only lived twice, the James Bond film.
Sure.
And that had all the best Japanese karate and martial arts guys all on that set, and fabulous. So he was the guy who instigated it, but he was a genius. Anyway, so I met Jay, got into Escrima, and then a year later I got a phone call from Norman Breen. He said, Dan's coming to the UK to do a display thing, the world of Bruce Lee or something like that. Would you like to host him? So, my dad was in a hotel, so I hosted the first Jeet Kun Do seminar in 1979 at the Ivanhoe Hotel.
With Danny Inosanto?
Yeah, and I got about 50 people to come
along,
mainly from my own school.
Okay.
I think maybe 2 who didn't come from my own school.
Yeah. And that was the first time that you met Danny?
That was the first time I met Dan, and he was with Jeff Imada, was his partner. Excuse me. And Jeff Imada was the guy who did all the Born Identity.
Yes.
Yeah, all the Bourne films.
Yeah, so for people who don't know who Dan Inosanto is, he is a student directly under Bruce Lee.
Directly under
and,
Bruce Lee.
kind of...
A god.
Yeah, in JKD he is...
Well, he's the guy who... you could say...
He's one down from Bruce Lee, basically.
One down from Bruce Lee, but you could say he's the guy who popularised Thai boxing, who popularised jits, because he trained under Machados, and he said, this is great stuff, you need to do it. So everyone did it. Up till then, it was only the Gracies were pushing it, but it was a bit smaller.
Yeah.
Dan's reach and his impact on the world is just
massive,
been huge. Yeah?
So tell me what... talking about this guy's a god in the martial arts world. What was it like meeting him? And tell me about what that seminar was like.
Well, that evening was still the best seminar I've ever been to.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because him and Jeff were just flying. They're going, okay, he comes in with double sword bomb. I disarm the sword bomb. Now it's one sword against 2 swords. Bang, 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 bang. He disarms. I pull a knife out. I've got knife against sword. I've got knife against sword. Well, I disarm the sword. Now it's not... Knife against knife. Now it's empty hands against knife. Now it's punching.
Yeah.
Now it's grappling. Now I'm doing arm bars. Now he pulls another knife out. Now it's knife on the ground. Now it's get up. It was like, wow.
Was it just mind blowing?
Just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Just even now, I don't think I've seen an evening
Wow.
like that. It was just.
Do you think that was partly because you've never seen anything like it before?
Probably, but also it was just. They had
they were on
barriers
form,
between sectors. They didn't go, you disarm my knife. Okay, let's start
Move on
back
to the
at
next
your
one.
ear.
It was continuous.
They just went, all right, I'll just punch you in the face.
Yeah.
So you disarm my knife, punch you in the face. They go, okay, block, take down, bomb, arm bar. And you go arm bar, and the other guy would put a knife, so you stand up or you kick. It was so flowy.
Yeah.
And I just went, okay, I've changed.
I want to do JKD now.
Yeah, I'm a JKD guy. So my classes, which all had 40 people in every class I had. Yeah.
Wow.
So I had big classes.
Yeah.
And I was a really popular teacher. And I had great classes. Hard, sweaty, old style karate. If you looked at Steve Sanders in Enter the Dragon, he has a karate school with all doing I had a school like that. It was hard ass and it was good. And I went from that to 8 people in a few weeks
because you just decided that we're just doing JKD now.
Yeah, we're doing this now.
Wow! Yeah. And everyone was like, "Well, we like the karate. We're out."
Yeah. I was teaching. Loads of people said, "Only you've lost the spiritual element." I went, "No, can't you see the spiritual element? It's just here as evident."
Yeah,
you're an idiot.
Yeah. It's so fascinating and so cool to see what a profound effect that evening had that you decided this is completely and actually, do you know what's really interesting and very telling about your character is how open you were to changing. So many people will see something that's more progressive
and then 10 years it'll take them to change,
or they'll never change. They'll go, you know what, this stuff's better.
No, I tell you, say take Steve, who you know very well.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve trained at the club and looked at us training, and it took him years.
Yeah.
He'd go and do his karate in the back room in the gym.
Yeah.
And he looked at us and go, And I said, this is much better. You need to come in. He was like, no. And he was really resistant to change.
Yeah.
And he's not bad. I mean, he changed, and now he's as open as anything, isn't he? He's amazing now, But back then he was, and there's other people who are just really trapped, aren't they?
Yeah.
They can't move. Even if they know it's better.
There's a cognitive dissonance with, you don't want to admit that the stuff that you've been doing has not been the best.
It's a waste of time. Yeah, it's like someone saying, oh, you bought a Ford Escort.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. You go, no, it's good. It does this, it's reliable.
And that hole in the bottom where the oil comes out is great. It's I'm lubricating the world. Yeah. It's
exactly.
Yeah. And we all do that, don't we? And I think you just have to change and
needs to be open.
Yeah, you need to be open to change it. And also, I think not moving is fear. I've got this little comfort blanket here. I don't want to stay here. Well, that was never my thing. I always wanted to go. Where's the crackle?
Yeah,
because the crackle's at the edge, isn't it?
Yeah.
The crackle's where. And sometimes it's a pain because you think, I've got to change again.
Yeah.
Now because the game's changed again, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
And as you get older, that gets a bit harder. I have to admit.
Yeah.
But
so you just decided like that we're doing JKD now?
Oh, overnight. Yeah.
So did you?
I lost loads of money. Yeah. What an idiot! Yeah. What a complete idiot!
But I'm sure you don't regret it. Looking back,
I couldn't do anything else.
Really?
It wasn't about. It was never about cash.
Yeah, it was about the art.
It was always about passion. It was always about I love this stuff, and I was always pushing at it. Well, what is it? How does it work? What about this? Can I do this?
So after that, you decided in JKD now you start training under Dan Inosanto.
Yeah.
And you go over to
I go
the States
over
where
to LA.
it was?
So I meet him in 79. I'm over there in 80, 81 onwards.
You spent a lot of time there?
Yeah, I went there. Obviously, you can only go there. I think I went five. First time I went for 5 weeks. The pound dropped. I had enough money for the hotel for about a week and a half.
Yeah.
So we got a crash pad, my ex and I, and we saw this advert in the LA recycler crash pad.
Yeah.
So we said to these people, we're going to this crash pad in Culver City. If we don't come back, this is the address that we went to. You know? And it was $9 a night.
Wow.
You know? And we went there, and they were really nice. I said, "Oh, come on in." They said, "Here's your bedroom." And a nice bedroom. It was overlooking the motorway, but it was fine. Yeah,
sure.
Great. It was lovely. Thank you. And there was all these people, like guys, like sleeping on the floor, you know, with fans on. And I thought, oh, they're just the football's on. They maybe watching the football.
Yeah.
And the guy who owned that place was called Mousy. And,
okay.
And the place was called Rafters 2. I said, so anyway, over time we got friendly with him. We realised there were only 2 bedrooms there. George had one, and we had one. And everyone else slept outside. It was a huge apartment, and people just slept there. It was a crash pad. So you were on the run, or you'd broken up with your wife, or you were on bail or whatever.
Yeah.
You just go, oh, do you have a crash pad, mate? Yeah, come on, and everyone, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Trannies.
Yeah.
You know, there'd be, you walk in the evening, and there'd be like 10 people on the carpet,
on
sleeping.
the floor, really.
Just, you know, and I said, why is it called rafters? He goes, well, he said, because at the other place they're hanging from the rafters. He said they're packed, you know, it's packed out with like transients.
Yeah.
Basically, it was transient. So we stayed there for 5 weeks.
Wow.
And he was a really interesting guy. He'd done like books like Revenge Killing for Beginners, you know, you know, Contract Killing, you know, and he'd been in prison. He'd been in Folsom Prison, and he said, "Well, I've been stabbed and I've been shot."
Folsom Prison? It doesn't sound like he was falsely in prison if he's writing.
No.
Revenge Killing
He was in San Quentin and Folsom. He'd been in both.
Wow.
And he was just an interesting character. He wrote these books like that they used to have on what's that? There's a site that has them. Paladin Press used to have them all, didn't they? But back in the day, and he used to write those, you know.
Yeah.
Something like Contract Killing for Beginners, you know? Something mad, and it was just like it was a strange. It was out of a film because he'd have 4 quarters of chicken for breakfast and a bottle of tequila. You know? Yeah. And that was it, you know. And then they played cards all day, but they treated us wonderfully. Yeah, wonderfully. Yeah. And so I trained there. So that was my first. That
sounds like
visit
an interesting
to LA.
experience.
Oh, it's great. It's fabulous. You can write. Well, I am going to write a book with all the details.
Oh
of
yeah,
it,
that'd be brilliant.
Yeah. So I've been blessed along the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I trained with Dan and that was hard. It was hard to do all the
what was
changing.
What was it like, training?
I trained at the old Torrance Academy, which was with him and Richard Bastilio. And that was quite a hardcore gym. That was down in Torrance, so Normandy. You know, so it's very Latino. Everyone say, "Hey, Calito." It's a bit like that. You know? It was a bit like that. It was a bit hardcore gym. It was good, and that's the one that's featured in The Way of the Warrior that the BBC did. Yeah, and that was a great gym and very hot. Very, very hot.
Yeah, it's out there.
And so I trained there, and I did privates and things like that, and then I just kept going. So I had Dan coming over. Then I brought him over to England. I had him come over for 30 years.
Wow.
29 years.
Wow. So you're...
and I still train with him. He's still my, friend, mentor, inspiration.
Wow, yeah.
None of us have been able to keep with him.
Yeah.
Eric Paulson, Rick Young, who you know well.
Yes.
Who's also a JKD guy and a Jits guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think the Jits guys don't realise he's a JKD guy.
And the Jiu-Jitsu guys don't know that he's
Yeah. But, I mean, all of us are trying to stay with Dan. So Dan's got a legendary work ethic. I mean, he was...
How old's he now?
83 now.
Wow.
But he
still travels all around. And
he still travels.
Yeah.
He's got a mad schedule, I mean, he does 5 hours a day.
Wow.
Of training. Every day.
Wow.
Every day. So, and then he'll go to Australia and he'll come back and he'll get in, say the plane lands at 12,
Yeah.
and he'll go train in the evening.
Wow.
I mean, he's just unbelievable. His
That's crazy.
stamina is, excuse me. And so we all try and stay with him, because he says, "Oh, do you want to come train with me in the morning?"
Mm.
And he does loads of different training. So in the morning, he might do, if I'm out with him, he might do gyrotonics at 6:30. So gyrotonics might be in Hollywood or somewhere like that. So we drive up to Hollywood. So we get up at 6. You're up there for 6:30, and he trains with a woman called Anne. And Barbara is great, and she's an excellent dancer. And and she's amazing. She can imitate you how you walk and everything. So she go, "Oh, Daniel, you're like this. You're walking like this, and you're blocked here. This is isolated here. This isn't moving. You need to let's work on this." And gyrotonics is like an offshoot of Pilates, but invented by a guy in as I understand it, through dreams that he's had. Yeah.
Really?
So they've got all this
I've
equipment.
never heard of it before.
Yeah, they've got all this equipment with the move. It's fabulous stuff. It's really good. And back then, I hadn't had my hips replaced then. So
You hadn't yet?
No, I hadn't.
No.
So I could hardly walk. You know?
Yeah.
So it was quite hard to spar with people, and so that's why I concentrated on knife and stick and stuff.
More
like
of the
that.
upper body stuff.
More the upper body stuff. And or I say to people, "Okay, we can fight, but you have to stand still."
Sure.
And I stand still.
Sure.
And we're just
going to move. Yeah.
we just move there. Yeah.
Do you think that, just to quickly, off a tangent off of that, do you think that your limitations, because I know, you've mentioned it already a couple of times today, but like you've had certain limitations with your hip problems. And like you're saying now, not able to really spar with the lower body, so just stand in front and having the move. Do you think in some way, maybe not, it was a blessing in disguise, but at least the
hugely.
silver lining of it has meant
hugely,
like
yeah.
your movement and your...
Yeah, hugely. My checking and manipulation skills, and also realising, so a big thing that we do in what I call now 4D is what we call the box. So the box is like the box that you're in. You've got that foot there,
Sure,
it's a box, and essentially. And then like it's almost like you're carrying a box. So if from a jiu-jitsu perspective, that's my guard. So I put my guard up, and then open guard, and you have to pass it.
Yeah.
And if you pass it, I can fold it, go to half guard.
Yeah.
I can do various things. Or I can split, and I learned all of that there. I learned how to. I can be all these places in the box, and I don't need
without having to move your legs. Yeah.
And if I move one leg, I'm still there.
Yeah.
So I've moved out. I'm not there, but I'm back. But,
Yeah.
Because I've kept my. But if I move both legs,
You out.
I'm out. I have to pay to come in again.
Yeah,
but if I move one leg, I've just gone and I can come back. Well, you get the same if you're going to pass someone, you step over and then you can go.
Yeah.
You can go back and forwards, can't you? And then you can come back and
almost kind of early on we were talking about creativity that you have. Do you feel that your injuries have forced you to create
totally
a different style?
I think I've had a guru that bashes me.
Yeah.
All my life really, because I've got an intolerance to carbohydrate, which I didn't realise I had when I was a kid. So I was always ill.
Yeah.
I was always periodically
Is it gluten or just carbs in general?
Carbs in
Really?
general. I just can't really. I don't
You don't
tolerate
digest
sugars.
them well, yeah.
I don't digest them. Lots of I get inflammatory things. Happen. So I had that. So that kept me on so any time I come off, I get slapped. And then I was doing triathlon and all of that, and I'm really pushing the barrier that way. But I was drinking and eating a lot.
Yeah.
And eventually it said, no, you're just going to be a cripple. And so I spent a time as a cripple for 15 or 16 years, being unable to walk. I still went off and taught, and went to France and taught, and Italy and taught and stuff.
This was with the hips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, you know what it's like. You go and teach a seminar.
Yeah.
You're fine on the floor, aren't you? And as soon as you come off the floor and you're on the train on your own, you're going, oh God, I'm on empty. And particularly coming home with a big bag, I often couldn't get in the house. I mean, when the hips were really bad, I couldn't get in in my front door.
Wow.
My front door's got a lip an inch high, and I have to lean forward, get the leg over, lean back, and I hobble. You know what I mean? It was like I couldn't walk anywhere.
Wow.
I used to go to.
What was that from? Was that from triathlon or?
Yeah, probably from triathlon. I had a
Running.
slipped. No, I had. I think the reason I got in lots of fights when I was a kid was I had a slipped epithesis in my hip, which means my
It's a
hip
genetic thing. Okay. Yeah.
no, it's something that happens in childhood.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And my hip was out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I had a limp, but I didn't realise I had a limp. Everyone, because I was.
You were walking with a swagger.
Yeah, you up for it? And
Yeah.
I just I get in loads of fights.
Really?
Because people think I had a bit of attitude.
Yeah.
You're that geezy who wants like come along like that, and I
He walks around like a badass.
No, I'm just like I'm like a humble guy who wants a nice quiet life, and they go, come on then, I go, no, and I end up in fights. Oh, excuse me. So I had that, and obviously then doing the triathlon on top of that, I was one of the first people to do triathlon because triathlon was unheard of then.
Really?
I found about triathlon in 1981, I think, or 1980 in
Wasn't
in
a
LA.
big thing. Really?
I just went to a bookshop and there was one book on triathlon. So I bought the book. It was the only book that was out at the time. It was a brand new sport called triathlon. I went, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. So I
never
did
even
that.
thought how old triathlon is and stuff.
Yeah. So I did the first London triathlon here
Really?
in London.
Yeah.
It was great. I loved it. I loved it. I was as fit as a butcher's dog, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that wore my hips out. And then they just said, well, you know, order your chair, you know.
Wow.
And I went, well, I'm not going to have a chair or a stick. So I just endured it for 15 years. Didn't take painkillers or anything.
Well, if we kind of continue on with that, like, eventually you get a hip replacement, right?
Yeah, get replacement
In 2001.
2001.
And did that?
Oh, it's like being reborn, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah. So now I've got footwork. So now I've got all the stuff I had before. 15 years of
And now you can
learning to manipulate people, change their weight, change their structure, and I've got footwork as well.
But the hips are good now.
Yeah, the hips are great. Yeah,
Wow.
and then so I can remember my friend James. You know James Evans?
No.
Nicole.
No.
He's like a cage, ex-cage fighter,
Yeah.
but he's a really good grappler. He's under Eric. He's one of Eric's top people. He's fabulous. He's just great.
Yeah.
Great submission fighter. And he said to me, "Oh, it's different for you." He said, "You've got good footwork." And I thought, no, I started from zero. You know? But I just went, "What'd you do? Drag step, L step, triangles. Just do your work, isn't it? Do your work." And because I was reborn, you love it more, don't you?
You have this appreciation of it.
Oh, you go, oh my God, because other people don't appreciate that thing.
Because they've been walking, their hips have been fine since they were born. Yeah.
So, and they don't need to push that envelope.
Yeah.
Because it's just footwork. And I became like assiduous practicer of different types of footwork.
It's like when a blind person or even a colorblind person's able to see again.
Yeah.
It's like you can see these things like
are,
everything's so beautiful and everyone's like, oh, this is just...
And other people are blind to it.
Yeah.
So it was great. So I had almost like I had a stern teacher for 15 years going, learn this area. This is your area. You can't go anywhere else. Learn this area really well. And then, right now, you've learned that area. Right now, here's this back. You know, and it was great. The only thing is I can't run because I've got total hip replacements in both hips. So you can't impact.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't impact. So I can't run, which is annoying because I used to run.
You used to like running?
Really fast. Yeah, I was a fast.
Were you doing
runner.
triathlons and stuff?
Yeah, I could do 10 hilly miles in an hour.
Really?
6 minute miles. So.
Well, I'm not a big fan of running. So.
Oh, yeah? Because you're a bit heavy, aren't you? You're heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
I didn't like
boys
running when I was
you,
like that.
and he doesn't like to run.
Yeah,
he's very much like you. I said to him, "Get into grappling." He's just like you. He's got a grappler's body. He's got. He's like a cube almost.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, and he isn't interested. He's
No.
so annoying.
Does he do any martial arts at all?
No,
Really?
no. He likes to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play. to
So
him.
annoying because he'd kill everyone.
Yeah. Maybe it's good for everyone else.
Yeah, it's good for him
Hoping he sticks to
because,
cooking.
he's really strong.
Yeah.
and you wouldn't be able to bar him easy because he's got short arms.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah?
Yeah.
He could do it to you, but you can do it to him. Lovely.
That's what you want.
So Dan, probably getting back to Dan. Dan's just an inspiration. So we all do the classes. So generally, you go and do say Gyrotonic 6:30. He'd be with Higan Machado. For those people who know who Higan is, I'm sure they do. At 8:30. So we train with Higan for maybe an hour. Then we'll go and do yoga with Sarah. We both go and do that, and we do that. Dog Brothers.
That was
leader,
Dog Brothers
Escrima
stuff, right?
Yeah.
They would do like their full contact,
full
beat
contact.
the crap out of each other.
But we can go to his house, go to Mark Denny's house, and do yoga there. Then maybe, depending, either go back and do some more jits with say Roger Machado, or we go and do some stick fighting with Edgar Solite.
Yeah,
and then it's lunchtime.
Wow.
And you're knackered. You know what I mean? Like just intellectually knackered. You're just like so much information. You go, I'm done.
So when you
Dan would then go and do the afternoon at Gold's Gym lifting weights, and then teach for 3 hours in the evening.
Crazy.
And you just go.
You would go and do. You would like shadow him almost when he was doing this when you were over there. So was that your first introduction to grappling? Like formally being instructed in grappling?
My first lesson formally, apart from with Chris Houter, when Chris Houter was the first person to come here.
Was he the first person to come over?
Yeah.
What year was that?
He was the first black, I think 96. I think.
It must have been, because who was the... I think that... I think Arlen Sequeira
maybe, yeah.
taught like a seminar here. I think that was what it was. He like was over here and he taught a seminar in like maybe. I don't know. I've had him on the podcast, so I should really remember that.
Yeah,
I've had so many people on the podcast. It was in the early 90s. I think it was before then, but
yeah.
I didn't know that Chris Houter was here so early.
Yeah, Chris Houter was here.
Really?
96,
Yeah.
Which I am right him over with.
Yeah. You brought him over?
Came with Dan.
Oh, really?
Came with Dan, yeah.
Okay. Was he already a black belt at the point?
Oh, yeah, he was a black belt, yeah.
Wow.
He was a bad dude.
Yeah, he is.
He's still a bad dude.
He is.
Yeah. Do you know him well?
Yeah. I don't know him well. I haven't met him, unfortunately, but I'd love to have a chat with him.
He's a beast, because he's a JKD guy originally.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He's a JKD guy who became a Jits guy.
So I guess your JKD introduction and your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu introduction were very close time-wise together, because...
No. The Jits came 90s, I'd say.
So when did you start doing JKD?
80s.
Okay, so when you were going over to train with Dan, and that was before he started jiu-jitsu, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was before he started jits. And then he started jits. I remember he first went to, I think, the Gracies, and then he came back, and Paula did all of his wife did all of the Kali stuff on him. All the Filipino grappling stuff on him, and he couldn't counter it. And she went, well, this jits isn't much bloody good. Then he said, look, I've just beaten you up. She locked him, because the Kali grappling's very good. In its way. In its way. It's not got... it's good. It's nasty, dirty fighting. Basically.
Is there ground stuff in the...
There's ground stuff. Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of clinching and stuff in the stand-up.
Yeah. There's not
we
a
haven't
huge
even
amount
spoken really about the
ground.
Escrima and the Kali. And,
we can get onto that. So, but then he started with the Machados, and then he was into it. So everyone else said, "Oh, okay, we follow him." So my first lesson was with Higan.
Yeah, so people don't know, like the Machados are cousins to the Gracie family.
Gracies,
and they I think they have a massive lineage of people underneath them.
Yeah.
So what was that like? Your first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class?
We did guard, we did triangle, omoplata, and armbar.
The classic,
classic. And then we all fought in the class, and he did it to everyone.
Yeah,
he just
Higan did.
Yeah. Slowly.
Yeah.
You're going fast, and he just went really slow. He went, "Oh, my friend, look how lucky I am."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he was really good. There was a handicapped guy there, and he went, "Oh my God, you're getting me in an armbar." And the guy was going, it was the best day he'd ever had. And he's going, "Oh no, I'm going to tap. oh, I'm so lucky I got out. You know, the guy was like,
Yeah.
So it was lovely. It was just such. It was how it should be.
Yeah.
In that he took that guy and built him, didn't he? And the guy didn't win, but he almost won. Yeah.
Yeah.
Against Higa Machado, I could have been a contender.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was just great. And so I train there every day, but I had bad hips, so
Hard.
I was just a plank that people jumped on really for like
Because you
5
can't do,
years.
because the guard is so
God is so
hip based. Jiu-jitsu is hip based in general, but the
Yeah,
guard,
yeah,
the open
yeah,
guard
yeah.
position,
And
you just,
they all said to me, "Oh, we would change the art to fit you," but no one ever.
it's
did.
hard. It's very hard. Yeah.
No one ever did, and so I got a bit peeved with it really after a while because I was a plank
Yeah.
that kept turning up, and I was always under.
Yeah.
I was never on top, and I was always having people like going around me, but I loved it. Yeah?
So then, when you had your hip replacement,
Oh yeah,
you went
then
back to jiu-jitsu.
yeah, then I would train with Rodrigo Cabral. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. And that was in Fight Factory.
No,
Was it
I
Fight
trained
Factory?
at our place, but he was
Okay.
at Fight
Yeah, he was at
Factory.
Fight
But I
Factory.
couldn't go to Fight Factory because that was my opposition. That was up the
Oh,
road
okay.
from
Yeah,
me, so
yeah,
I
yeah.
had to do it in my own place.
Sure.
you know?
Sure. Yeah.
But he was great. He's not the best technical teacher because he's
Yeah.
just a beast, isn't
He's
he?
a beast.
He just goes,
I
I can do it like that. You just sit up, and you go, "What? I can't sit up with you on me."
Yeah,
but he
yeah,
just,
yeah.
oh, you just sit up, and you just throw him over your head. You're
I
like,
did a class with Rodrigo in
lovely man.
maybe 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago. Yeah. And I remember like David Numa was there,
Yeah,
and Andy
yeah,
Nugent
yeah.
were there,
Yeah.
and loads of guys were there
Yeah.
that I didn't know at the time.
Yeah,
And I'd look back and like, oh man, I was with you.
Yeah,
like 10 years ago.
They're all my old black belts.
Yeah.
Andy is as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Andy Nugent. He's a nice guy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had the jiu-jitsu, you started training again back with Rodrigo.
Yeah.
And then finally you could actually do jiu-jitsu.
I could, yeah, which was good.
That must have been nice.
At the same time, I was on with James Evans and then Nicole as well, so he was doing combat submission wrestling, so I was doing quite a bit.
Well, you've mentioned Eric Paulson a few times.
Yeah.
What's your experience working with Eric?
I can't remember when I first met Eric. He came over and did, I think he came as a partner to Dan, and then we had him over every year, so we're quite early on. And he's always been great. He's just a genius at work, really. I remember seeing him at the Machados. He was a blue belt, and there was a girl there who was Pan American champion, and she got out of Eric's guard by bumping him up and going out through his legs. You know? And then she went out. He just neck cranked her with his legs.
Really?
Very gently.
Yeah.
He could have killed her. You know?
Yeah.
And he just went, and he didn't. You know, he just went,
Yeah.
there you go. And I saw him with Mark McFan, and Mark McFan was going, tap,
Yeah.
tap,
Yeah.
tap. It was like every 20 seconds he was tapping. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eric was going, just, and Fan's a good grappler.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, okay, yeah, he, he's on a level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like having someone who studied catch wrestling and Brazilian jiu-jitsu, as someone like yourself who's kind of created this 4D system, you've kind of created your own system, you've got that creative flair to everything that you do. As a grappler, I'm just interested to see what you thought were, because obviously, like the whole the JKD philosophy or Bruce Lee's philosophy is, find other things that are useful and absorb those useful things and put a twist on it.
And it's also finding what is good for you, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's finding your art, not a standard way, using the standard way, but not being trapped by that. Yeah?
But what I want to hear from you is what through your eyes did you see was valuable from jiu-jitsu and valuable from catch wrestling, and how you mix these things together on the ground?
I think the Eric stuff relates better to the stand-up than the jit stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, you are going to end up on the ground. Not always. All that 90% of street fights end up on the ground.
Yeah,
it's nonsense. I had thousands of street fights and none of them ever ended on the ground.
Really?
Yeah, only one where we were on terracing in the football.
Yeah.
Frank Bruno against somebody or other.
Yeah.
And it was kicking off everywhere. And then we ended up in a fight, and I left hooked him. No, I pulled him off. He was on my friend. I pulled him off, and then I tripped on the terrace, and I was on the ground, but he was on the ground as well.
Yeah.
So he was a bit quicker than me getting up. So I gave him a little tug to keep him down. And I stood up and then left hooked him, and he just disappeared. Yeah.
But the 90% of fights,
no, 90% stand
bollocks.
up. Yeah, yeah, it's just nonsense. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, nonsense. If you're any good, you know, it doesn't end on the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
I think almost any bouncer on the jaw would tell you that. A few, 10% maybe.
Yeah.
10, 20%
They got
maybe.
it backwards.
Yeah,
90% don't end up on the
yeah,
ground.
9%. If you hit him well,
Yeah.
yeah, they
Interesting.
don't end up on the ground.
Yeah.
I can't think of a fight that I had that ended on the ground.
Yeah. Really, you think you had thousands?
No, not thousands, hundreds. You know? But only as a boy, you know. Yeah.
But that goes back to what you're saying. You know, you have the experience. You can say some guys probably not been in a lot of street fights. Says 90% of the fights end up on the ground.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think for the races, because you're in Brazil and there's a beach,
Different.
you take them down, can't you? You know, if that's your game, is. But the average bloke on the street is, you're not going to get that. You know?
Yeah. Unless someone wants to take it to the ground.
Yeah. Unless someone's really keen. But then my big thing is your mobility is done.
Compromised,
Compromised. I mean,
You don't have the ability to run, yeah.
God started you out on your back.
Yeah.
Then you turned to your front. Then you stood up.
Yeah.
Why would you go back?
Yeah.
If you know, that's unless you're taken there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because, you know, one of the... I picked up on earlier, you said that 4D system is the stand-in, the...
Striking, clinching, weapons, group attack.
Weapons and group attack. So that's like something that obviously doesn't exist in jiu-jitsu, which is the group attack.
Yeah.
Like what is it is the mentality that you have? Like what's the philosophy when it comes to fighting multiple people?
No, it's just almost like jiu-jitsu. It's the same thing. It's all in geometry, isn't it? You know, because you can't be hitting 4 different angles. So you've got to use. You've either got to snooker them. So the other opponents are snookered.
Okay, yeah.
You know, so they can't get access to you. Meanwhile, you're hitting the first one.
Yeah.
Or you're using the other one, locking him up. So you have to be good at clinching, good at ground clinch as well, ground breaks and stuff, so you can use them as a barrier.
Yeah.
You know, or standing clinch where you can manipulate them, still hitting them, but you're keeping him quiet.
Yeah.
And I learned all of that. I had a gang fight. Well, not a gang fight. I was playing rugby when I was a kid, you know, about 17. And this team we were playing, they'd been intimidating us, you know, all the time, really giving us a hard time, and you know, just intimidation.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to stab you later, all that sort of stuff that happening, quite nasty. And then we all came out of the changing room, and one of my friends was left in there. So we went, well, where's Bramwell? And they went, oh, Bramwell's in the change room. I said, I'll go back and get him. So I walked in, and their whole team's in there. One of them walked up to me and said, you better watch it. And I said, you better watch this. And I pointed to my fist and smacked him one and knocked him in the corner. And it was all off. And then I went, okay.
Well, earlier you said that you didn't start fights.
Well, that was the only one. But honestly, they've been intimidating us the whole way through. I mean, it was really, like, you know, it was off, really.
Yeah,
they were just waiting for it. You know, it was one of those push things. You know, they push you. You better watch it. And I said, you better watch this. And I pointed to it, and he looked at it, and I went, smack. You know, I hit him into the corner. And then foolishly, I turned around and said, come on, I'll take you all on. You know? And they all backed up about, 2 or 3 foot. And then they went, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14. They went, and they just attacked me. You know?
Shit.
So I learned more in that 2 minutes than you can learn ever. You know?
Did they give you a pasting?
No.
Really?
No, they all tried to kick me in the groin.
This was before you...
Yeah, before they did karate or anything, yeah. They all kicked me in the groin, but they didn't really kick me in the groin. They kicked me on the leg. So I learned if you're going to groin kick, you have to groin kick like this, not like that. Yeah,
You got to come at an angle.
yeah, you have to come out. It has to be a round kick because you're always going to tuck on you. Yeah, and then they kicked me in the groin. I punched me in the face. Yeah, and that was it. And I held one person under my arm and blocked off this half.
Yeah.
So they all had to come through here. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 minutes time, I ended up in the showers with my jumper torn off me. I've got no recollection of it really, but it was
badass.
It's
That's badass.
Yeah.
That
Afterwards,
whole thing.
yeah.
That whole scene sounds like it's out of a movie.
Yeah, it was.
You
But
give,
honestly,
you give the guy a look at this and give him the punch to the
but
face.
Anyone will tell you, anyone who knows me, I'm the gentlest, most non-belligerent person ever. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm always joking and laughing, and
but you end the fights.
no, I was just. It was of that time. Yeah?
Do you know what? Like talking about the street fights is all of the stuff. Obviously, you know, you were just in an environment where fighting was a regular part of life. But this was all before you started training.
Yeah, and training was good for me. It took me out of all
It took you out of it, but have you, you know, as someone who teaches fighting and self-defense stuff, have you ever had to use, you know, and are there any examples of you using your knowledge that you picked up later in life in, you know, applicable situations, real life situations?
Yeah. Of course, not often. I can remember I trained with, because I was into Bagua for a while. If you know what Bagua is, Bagua's like a Chinese internal system, yeah?
Uh-huh.
You got Tai Chi, Shi, Bagua. Those are the three internal styles,
Yeah.
the big internal styles.
Yeah.
And Bagua's like a circular style.
Sure.
Where you walk around in a circle. So I did that for a couple of years with a woman called Rose Lee, who was very famous. She trained under somebody good in Beijing. So I trained with her, and she said, "Oh, Mr. Breen," you know, she said, "Everyone in Manchester knows who you are." And I hadn't said who it was, but she'd obviously gone up to Manchester because she taught in Manchester as well. And she said, "Oh, I've got this guy in my class called Bobby Breen," and they were going, "Oh, he's very famous," you know. But
This was you're famous for your karate.
Yeah, for my karate,
Yeah.
you know. And she said, "Oh, Mr. Breen, you are my best student, but," and then she'd tear me to bits, like your ankle's wrong, your foot's wrong.
Yeah.
And she was great. She was very good, but a very traditional teacher, so she wouldn't teach you the applications. It was just the form, yeah?
Yeah.
And I did it for a couple of years, and I just went, "Oh, no, she's not taking me further." But she said a really clever thing to me. She said, "Mr. Breen, how often do you ever fight?" I said, "I don't know, once a year, once every 2 years, maybe, you know." Back then, I was about 20 odd then, you know. And she said, "How often do you trip up?" And I said, "Oh, weekly." She said, "Better to train not to trip up." And I went, and that was a big epiphany for me. And I went, "Oh yeah, obviously I need to be a gentler soul, really." And not that I was a belligerent soul ever, really. I wasn't. I just, you know, I was just in that environment. I never started fights ever, you know.
Yeah.
Apart from that one. But he started.
He sounds like
he started.
Yeah, he wanted something, you just gave it to him.
Yeah, it was going to kick off anyway.
Yeah.
Or he was going to intimidate.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to back down and being intimidated. But so that was where we got that group thing. And if you look at some of the Silat and you look at some of the Kali, they look at the grappling slightly differently to the judo and so the jiu-jitsu do. So if you do the judo, you often end up on the floor, don't you? If you look at the Kali and the Silat throws, they like to throw you on the floor.
They don't follow you down.
Body disposal.
Yeah.
And that they've hit you 5 times in the head.
Yeah.
And they're going to throw you so you act as a bulwark against other opponents. And so their whole view of it is slightly different.
Yeah.
I think the judo throws are better, but because of the culture, that's the thing. And then what they do is then they scan and they're looking for who's next.
Yeah.
So it's like, because somebody said to me, "Oh no, if they're fighting in over there, it's always group attack."
Yeah.
Because
in like, Philippines.
Philippines, Indonesia. It's like
in Asia.
It's crowded, you know, and you don't know who's your friend, who's your enemy. And,
sure.
And I mean, the Philippines used to be it's a pretty crazy place now, but it used to be a very crazy place. Lots of guns and shooting and all of that. You know,
They're big with the knives and stuff like that.
yeah, big on the knives, big on. You know, they're quite.
Yeah.
They're a mixture of like Orientals and Spanish, aren't they?
Yeah.
In a way, and they've got like a Spanish sort of like pride thing.
Yeah.
On top of an Oriental face thing.
Yeah,
so it's like that's it's quite a dangerous
combination,
melange of things, isn't it? You know? Always very beautiful people, but temperamental or hot-headed sometimes. But yeah, so I think Eric's stuff is great. Eric's stuff, I think his stand-up's great. His ground is great, and I quite like that. Catch as catch can.
He teaches purely as a sport, or does he teach with a self-defense mind as well?
Probably with a mixture of both.
Yeah,
mixture of both. I think particularly the catch and catch can and the shuto is a bit more. Catch as catch can, which obviously comes from England, doesn't it? You know? They say finger locks and things like that.
Yeah, nasty.
Which are great. You know, they're just like the good ways to get into arm drags and things like that, aren't they? But I think almost everyone generates towards sport. I like Chris Houter's T-shirt was think art, think street, train art, practice sport. You know, and so he's a very deep.
Chris, very smart guy.
Yeah, smart guy. He's a fabulous artist as well. I'm not sure if you knew that.
He paints or he draws?
He paints. He's a fabulous painter.
Know that, no.
Yeah, fabulous painter. Yeah.
That's again going back to that creative side.
He's like graphics. He did all the graphics.
Really?
He did the Inosanto Academy badge.
Okay.
He did all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, he's a real dude.
Yeah. So wait, like when you're talking about pretty much, I kept saying every one of your street fight stories sounds like it's something out of a movie.
Yeah.
So speaking of movies, like I know you've done work. You've worked as acted in movies or a stuntman in movies.
I did,
You've choreographed movies or trained. actors.
No, I haven't choreographed. I did a bit of training of Michael Fassbender for 300.
Okay, yeah. Did you work with Gerard Butler as well? Or
no, didn't
just
work
Fassbender.
With just Fassbender and one of the other guys who gets his head chopped off.
Yes.
Tom.
Yeah.
I can't remember Tom's other name.
Yeah.
And then
you were just teaching the sword stuff.
Yeah, sword stuff. Just
what was he like?
He's great.
Yeah.
I have to admit, he's
one of my favourite actors.
He's like a mad Irishman, really.
Yeah.
Underneath it all, when I saw him, he had like a bearded Irishman, very intense, very quick.
Yeah.
Quick on the uptake. And we were talking about how to make him look like a warrior, even though he was an actor.
Yeah.
So I said, look, you can do whatever you like, but body angle and body and intent was the big thing to portray on film. You know, because you can wave your arms in the air, but if you don't get that whole body language,
doesn't look believable.
It doesn't look believable.
Yeah.
You know, like the Predator thing.
Yeah,
which, if you're into the arts, you know it.
Yeah.
When you see it, you go, oh, no, that's it.
Yeah.
He's a real deal, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's why when you saw Denzel in the Book of Eli, he looks like, because he trained with Jeffrey Marder for ages.
Really?
Yeah, all his sword work's great.
Yeah. Are you big into the action films?
I'm not into the Marvel stuff. And all that. I don't like that. I like... I like a bit more intellectual films, really.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more.
Because I kind of want to like, what's the most realistic application? Do you feel?
I think the Bourne Identity.
The Bourne ones,
yeah.
You seen like John Wick and stuff like that.
John Wick, I've seen. Yeah,
he
John
does
Wick's
judo
good.
and
he does Machado and jiu-jitsu
with the Machados. Yeah.
We use that John Wick film as an analogy all the time in 4D about doing this, having all your tools pointing at the target all the time. So if I move this way, I move this way.
He's always following.
I'm never move my arms over here. You know, my arms, I'm moving behind. Yeah, but behind the gun. Yeah. Because otherwise, they pass your guard.
Yeah.
You know, so if I move my arms over there, then you've passed, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I just go, no, and I'm moving me. So everything you want to come through here is through here.
Sure.
So we do that at the back.
Yeah.
4D a lot. It's like moving, keeping your guard or hitting.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But so I think John Wick's great. I think the execution is great. He's trained very hard. I think Bourne Identity, all of the Bourne films, I think are quite good.
They're good guys working with them.
Yeah, because they're really good guys, and then they're not trapped in form. You know what I mean? They know form that well. They're okay for it to look untidy, and then bring it back to tidiness, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know?
Because like fighting can be really untidy. Yeah.
I mean, and also John Wick, the Chad Stahelski, who's the director of that, is a JKD guy under Dan Inosanto.
Yeah.
So he's a full instructor like me. Jeffrey Marder's a full instructor as well.
Yeah. You know, so we, you know, going back to sort of you with the JKD and with, so you teach. What do you teach at the academy now?
I teach like a 4D thing now. We're 4D JKD, but basically it's just an evolution of JKD and Kali. So taking JKD and Kali and trying to simplify it down a bit. So which is what Bruce was about at the first.
That combination of those two particular things is unique to yourself. Like you combine those, or
I combine them together. There's lots of overlap. Like a cross is a cross. So how you deal with outside parry. So they both have that.
Yeah.
One might call it pawas, and the other might call it paksao or something. You know, but it's just terminology. So I don't really use any terminology.
Yeah.
I don't believe in terminology because I think terminology gets in the way of learning.
Yeah. You get too fixated on what something's called instead of...
Yeah, you know, those people go, it's a berimbolo, and I like to do that. And you think, yeah, but you can't do it. You know the terms, but you can't do it. So I think, I think your job as a teacher is how did you pass your art onto people as quickly as you can and make them as best that they can be in the time allotted. And so anything that doesn't help that, I just chuck. You know, I'm not a historian. There's others, and I don't decry those at all. It's just a different thing, isn't it? I think maybe because of my history, I'm more interested in not just the functionality of it, but the game and the play, and it being alive, and you being able to. If you thought about the art and the reality being like two plugs you want to plug together, you can never get them to just go together. But they get near. You know, the art starts to resemble the reality, but it's not exactly the same, is it? You must find that where you go, I'd like to have my hand like this, but I don't. I've got it like this. So I'm doing something. You know,
it's like almost that fight between tradition and practicality.
Yeah. And so I see that, and that void in the middle. I think that's it. I think that's Jeet Kun Do. That's where the jazz is happening.
Yeah.
And I'm into jazz. I mean, I play flute and things like that. Yeah. So I'm into that improv thing.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so, it's so interesting that to hear that from someone who is such an old school martial artist, but then also at the same time not surprising because you're an old school martial artist doing JKD, which kind of such a big part of the philosophy of that is that adaptability.
Adaptability. Because if you you know, like all plans never survive contact with the enemy. You know? And that's what you
got to have a plan B.
Yeah, I was going to do that. Oh, well, you're not now. You're not. You know, it's all changed, isn't it? So, I think it's just quite nice to do things as pristine as you can, and then what we try and do in 4D, anyways, then to test them in isolation. So I just test my guard passing, for instance, or I just test my jab.
Yeah,
and so therefore, the whole thing is you knowing that tool. I know that tool. Now I put that tool together with 2 other tools, and then we might spar just those 2. You know?
Yeah.
So you get good at just those 2. Then we might do 3. Then we might do 4. Then we say, okay, now you can't do that one.
Yeah.
So we're dropping things out and putting things in all the time. So therefore, you're not allowed to just have your jab or just have your cross or just have your tackle. You can say, okay, he's going to tackle only. You know, so he's got to find out how can I get in the tackle without getting hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, and all done nice and easy. So no one's being hurt, but then you just get reps, don't you? You get to rep that. Can I slip? And I'm on the clinch now, right? Now I'm into you, and you've got to stop me from doing that. So therefore, we've got that dialogue. So therefore, we've got classical, but we're taking the reality. But instead of giving them like drowning them in reality and actually traumatizing them,
got to give them little bits at a time.
Little bits. See this little picture. These 2 pixels of it.
Yeah.
And we just go da 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 da. Okay, let's work that. Let's play a game, and then I try to do lots of games as well. So if I get arm drag, I'm going to slap your butt, you know, or slap your kidney.
Yeah.
So we're playing like clinch, and we're doing like go slap your butt, and then it becomes a game. Everyone's giggling, everyone's laughing,
but they're doing something.
But they're doing arm drags. They're doing thousands of arm drags. So,
because you know that was going to be my next. You know, you've been teaching for 50 years, which is just incredible. My question was going to be like, over 5 decades of you teaching full time, you know, what are the big lessons that you've learned from that? You know, let's say that you had to, with the experience you have now, go back to when you'd only been teaching for a few years. What sort of stuff are you going to tell yourself? You know, like do this or look into this. Or
no, I don't think I would have changed that much at all, because when I first started teaching, I went to take the place of a Japanese teacher, and he basically teaching them rubbish. You know, he wasn't interested. He wasn't interested. He was going up for the cash, getting paid. It was a payday.
It was a job.
It was a job. And I went up and I said, "Well, who's taught you like that?" And I said, "No, that needs to be like that. You need. No, that's not good enough. The standards here."
Yeah.
So I was very aware of standards. You know, I always had a high standard. And I just wanted other people to have high standards as well, coming up. So I said to them, "No, don't do it like that. Do it like this. They say you want to do it."
Yeah.
And I did that a couple of times, and then eventually I got a deposition of people who came down from that club saying, "We want you to come and teach us because you're the only person who's telling us to us straight." So I think if I was going to go back, honesty is really important. I think passion. I think staying true to yourself is important, because then you can last like for 50 years. If you know you're basically lying to people to churn, it's just cash.
Yeah.
You're
going to run out in the end.
Yeah, you run out. I remember a woman called Pauline Fuller, who became Pauline Binder, who owned Blitz.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was a full-on, and she was a good karate person. But in about 1971, she came to my club and she said, "Don't you get bored?" I went, "Never. I'm never bored. It's just it's people, isn't it? It's interesting."
That's what I was going to ask you next, which is you've been doing it for 50 years. How do you still say you know you're obviously so passionate about it still? But
never get bored.
It's not even an issue.
No, never get bored, because you look at someone and say you're looking at someone and they're jab, but you see their characters is in their everything, isn't it? Their character, their fearfulness, their uptightness, their tramline brain. You know what I mean? All those personal characters are inherent in everything that they do.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's important you deal with all of them. So if you've got a big empathy for people, you just look at them as a whole and you go, "Oh no, I can help you. I can help you up a bit." You know?
Yeah.
And I think how do you get good? The only way you get good is by bringing up other people, because you got to pull them up. Come on up here, it's great up here, and then they come up and they push you higher.
Yeah.
Because then they come up and they choke you out, or whatever, and you go, "Oh, I shouldn't have showed you that." And Numa's the worst.
Yeah.
Why did I ever teach him anything? You know? It's just horrible now. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I go on and he goes, "Oh, I got you," and he goes, "Oh, you taught me this," and I go, "Oh, well, yeah, I've been had by it."
Yeah, yeah.
Terrible. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I get it all the time.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, he's a beast. Yeah, yeah. But I think that thing about honesty, being passionate about it, because it's got to be your heart, isn't it? If
Yeah.
you're going to do it as a living, and it's the best job in the world.
Mm.
There isn't a job anywhere near as good. Secret agent,
Yeah.
you know, undercover, any politician, rich man,
Yeah.
you know, nothing like it. Maybe a rock star is probably a good,
The closest one.
closest one, yeah. Because I've taught rock stars and stuff like that.
What rock stars do you teach?
1974, I toured with Deep Purple, so that was quite a big band.
Yeah.
Curved Air, so
Yeah.
I did all that. Then I recorded album with Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
You
in
recorded an
Switzerland.
album with them?
Yeah, I didn't record the album, but I was there when they recorded the album.
So did you go kind of on? You went.
Switzerland.
Okay. So you were
in
with them.
Montreux.
You were kind of like on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we called the Fanfare for the Common Man. Have you heard that?
No.
It's a famous
Yeah.
thing they do. Yeah, I was there at the time they did that.
Very cool.
Greg Lake and all that.
So the career's like teaching martial arts is the best one, but then Rockstars also seem pretty cool.
Rockstar's not bad. Rockstar's not bad. I mean, when we did with Deep Purple, I mean, we had a whole jumbo jet with like sofas and things like that on.
So you were on tour with them.
Yeah.
That's so because I spoke to God, who was it? Oh God, that's terrible. I think it was Ray Stevens. I can't remember. I was speaking to I was speaking to so many people on the podcast. I forget sometimes it's real bad. But I was talking to someone else who was on tour with. No, it wasn't Ray. God damn it, I can't remember it. I'm gonna remember it after the podcast. But he was traveling around and going on tour with all of these different. It was Simon Yeo.
Yeah,
You know,
I know.
ninjutsu
Simon,
guy.
yeah, I know.
He was
Simon
going
Warrior,
around
yeah.
with all of these rock stars and like on the tour bus and hanging out with them and all of that stuff. I'm like, all of these rock stars just get so much money. They're like, we like martial arts. Let's bring our martial arts instructor along. Right?
But it was interesting. I was teaching Ed Skrein, who was in Deadpool.
Okay.
And I was teaching him, we did a photo shoot in Wandsworth Park, and Simon popped over
Oh, really?
and introduced himself. So
Yeah.
I'm Simon. I was, and then he came train with us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
4D
like a cool
guy. Yeah,
actually.
that, he's a nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah. But anyway, before we get on, I've got a few questions that I put on the
Okay.
that I put online. A few people, I know one of them is already, but I wanted to ask like, just longevity wise.
Yeah.
You know, you're 69 years old.
69. Yeah.
You're still training every day.
Yeah.
You're still rolling.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Badly.
Yeah?
Rolling badly now, yeah. I don't do too much.
Is that it? It's just be smart.
Yeah, just be smart.
Yeah.
I do, like if I go training with James, I do maybe an hour.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't do 5 hours. I do an hour. I might pop in and see David and Nima on the way home today, and we might do 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
Just being smart with what you do.
Yeah, and I eat really well. Really, really well.
You saying like it's interesting that we were talking about your diet a little bit. Like you don't have any carbs.
No, I don't have carbs. No.
Now that isn't out of a specific diet. That's just out of necessity because you don't
out of
tolerate
necessity,
them.
otherwise,
But I think like the super low carb or zero carb movement is picking up steam a little bit with keto or carnivore and just super low
I
carb,
heard
low sugar.
Jordan Peterson's on it now.
Yeah, you know, and
But I've been doing it for I was 36 and I was having
when you
loads of
clocked
problems.
it,
I was doing the triathlon and stuff, and I said
Yeah.
to an osteopath friend of mine, I said, every time I have carbs, I feel terrible.
stop
You know?
having them.
And he said, well, don't have them. And I
Yeah.
said, but I thought I had to have them. And he said,
Yeah.
no, you don't have to have them. So then I started having oils. And
For the fats.
So basically, if I get up for breakfast, I have fish and salad is breakfast.
Yeah,
And then for lunch, that might be fish and salad or lamb and salad or turkey and salad.
Yeah.
And then in the evening, it might be pork and salad.
yeah. It's just high,
Chicken and salad.
high fat,
that's
high protein.
Yeah, and I have loads of fats. I have loads of oil.
And
I
you know
cook in
what?
loads of oil, and I have lots of oil because the oil is the energy.
Yeah. When I met you the first time at David's, like you're in incredible shape.
Yeah, I'm not bad shape, am I?
For
For
pushing
69, I'm not bad. Yeah.
For pushing 70 years old,
Yeah.
like unbelievable shape. You
Yeah.
got you had the abs out and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
so whatever you're doing seems to be working, which
Yeah,
is why
I think the diet's really good. I think almost like the hips. I've been cursed but blessed.
Yeah.
You know, because what you think is a curse, it also depends on your head as well.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Some people say, "Oh, I'm so down because
Yeah,
I've got
yeah,
this," and I'm never like that.
Yeah.
I'm always optimistic. You know?
Sure.
I'm a very very positive
yeah.
character. So I don't complain about anything. I take responsibility for everything I
Yeah.
do, really. And so I eat really well. I train. I get up and do my yoga in the morning.
A lot of stretch. You do a lot of stretching.
No, not a lot, but I do it every day.
Yeah.
So I get up.
Consistency.
I get up and do my Uddiyana Bandha, which is like putting your stomach in and out, so that improves my digestion. I do my Surya Namaskar, the salute to the sun
Yeah.
thing, and then I do like a mobility thing that goes top to toe. Might do a bit of silat.
And how long does that take you in the morning?
No, not long. 20 minutes.
Yeah.
40 minutes. An hour.
Yeah.
It depends, but 20 minutes.
You do it every day, and
But I do it every day.
Yeah.
And that just gets you young. And I do my cold baths as well.
Okay.
Yeah, not every day, but I do quite a lot.
I hear a lot of very good things about cold exposure.
Well, the reason I did cold baths because I was in pain.
Mm.
And I didn't take pain.
Yeah, I don't like taking pills. Yeah.
Yeah, and also they didn't really do the job.
No,
I took them once and I went, oh, no, because it's different sort of pain. So then I started having cold baths.
Yeah.
And that became quite addictive. And then I became famed for like doing cold water swimming and
Yeah.
I go to Vancouver and
It's
swim.
meant to be really good for you.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife's there with 3 parkas on
Yeah.
and anoraks on, shivering, and I'm in the water going, yes, but it's, I think that's good for your circulation.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, you need to have circulation has to be good because it gets everything on the move.
Yeah.
And I think it's like ideas. You have to be open to things.
Yeah.
So ideas are on the move as well.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So the whole thing
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like, one of my osteopath friends said, all illness is stagnation, all cure is circulation.
Yeah.
So I try and do that. I try
Yeah.
not to stay fixed for too long.
Nice.
Although, like everyone, I'm getting a bit older, and I go home and I've got my pajamas on. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. I love it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Who are your 3 biggest inspirations?
Dan Inosanto, Terry O'Neill. You ever heard of
I have
Terry
heard of
O'Neill?
Terry O'Neill, yeah.
Terry O'Neill's a god of fabulous man.
Yeah.
Fabulous. One of the best fighters I've ever seen.
Really?
And at the same time, one of the best human beings I've seen. Those 2, I think.
Yeah?
Not a lot of heroes in martial arts. Maybe Hickson.
Yeah. Did you ever meet Hickson?
Yeah, I met
You trained with
Hickson.
him?
No, I didn't train with him, but
Yeah.
he'd just come off the mat fighting about 20 guys. Talked to us. It was me, Rick, and Rob Mahoney and somebody else. And we both went outside and went, wow.
Yeah.
It was just...
There's an aura.
Oh, yeah. It was just wow. But then what does he do? He does his
Breathing,
yoga every day.
yeah.
Does his
It's
breathing
cold,
every day.
yeah.
He does his cold baths. And,
Yeah.
and he realised that stuff makes such a difference because it's not front stuff, it's back stuff. Isn't
Yeah.
it? It's stuff he's doing.
Yeah.
And he's open, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's
So much jiu-jitsu and boxing and everything is coming in,
and
yeah.
he's got such an energy about
Yeah.
him. An aura, isn't
Yeah,
it?
he does.
So I think those are the 3 that I've seen
Okay.
that I've gone like, oh, okay, yeah, wow.
I mean, that's a pretty strong trio.
Yeah.
Description of knife defense always stuck with this guy, James Carey. Put anything you can between you and the knife. A chair, a table, an old lady, anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Do you find that obviously in London, you teach in London, and there's seems to be this crazy, I don't know whether the media are just blowing it up or if it's actually the case, like knife crime is getting completely out of hand.
I think it's out of hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
The trouble is you're dealing with 16-year-old boys
Yeah.
who they don't have any brain, but they're
Yeah.
very smart. but they don't have a brain. You know what I mean? They're very smart in a feral way, but they don't have an idea of what they could be.
Yeah.
And
they're uneducated.
Yeah, uneducated. And I was there. You know, we all carried knives. We all threw knives. I used to throw knives back in the day. Not that I ever wanted to stab anyone. I don't know. It was like a thing.
It's part of it.
Yeah, it was just that was the culture, and they're in it now. And I really want to go in and say, look at the things you could do. You know, because I've met billionaires. I've travelled with billionaires. I've got close friends who are billionaires. All through this. So the world's a big place, isn't it? And
get out whilst you can.
And intellectually, those boys are just us against them. When there's music, there's art, there's literature, there's all these great things in the world that you should embrace. And jits. You know? And because I met some great people through jiu-jitsu, Darren Bartlett.
Adam on here.
Well. He's fabulous. He was in last night for our Christmas party.
Oh, yeah?
He's a fabulous individual.
He's great, I had a great episode with him, actually. He's really
he's just a full-on guy, isn't he? Yeah, love him to bits. Yeah, and all of that. So why would you go and stab people?
Yeah, exactly.
So the education thing for kids, to get them out and introduce them to people who do jiu-jitsu, who do martial arts in general. I think martial arts in general is the best thing that you can do for yourself. I think calms you down, takes you out of fights, brings you back to some sort of sense of being a man or a woman, but being strong and fearless. You know? Or not stupidly fearless, but not fearful.
More aware.
More aware.
Where do you think you would be without Guru Dan?
Oh,
that's a great question. Like, considering the influence that he had on you from that one seminar.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be where I am.
Do you think you'd still be teaching just karate and boxing? And
no, I think I would have probably gone into.
You would have found out about
I would have done some other stuff because I was onto the other stuff already, but I don't think I'd be anywhere near as far developed as I am. Most of what I do, empty hand wise, has a huge basis in what I learned from him. Probably the most influential martial artist on the planet.
Wow.
By far.
Wow.
He influenced everyone. It influenced Hickson. Influenced the Machados.
It's just incredible that a person like that exists.
Yeah, he's a student of theirs, but he's influenced them and opened them up and introduced them to people. And have you tried this? Have you done that? He's just a
putting all the strings.
and he's into everything. He's just interested in life, you know.
That kind of answers the next question. Who do you see as the biggest modern influencer in martial arts? Obviously, it's Dan, but is there anyone almost the next generation that are doing the same sort of things that Dan were doing maybe 20, 30 years ago?
There's in the UK, there's three of us doing like a Jekidi evolution. That's Andy Norman, who does Defence Lab. I'm not sure if you've heard of Defence Lab.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So Andy's an old student of mine. I took him to San Diego with me and David O. They were both brown belts at the time. We went to teach 300 black belts in San Diego.
300 black belts?
Yeah, that was quite... We were like, wow 300 black belts, Not all of them were good, and he's developed this Defence Lab, which came from a Casey thing, which was another student I had called Husto. I introduced Andy to Husto. They collaborated and they developed Casey.
That was
KFM with this
is fence, is it?
Yeah, it's just sort of like a guard thing like this, and it's fabulous. In its idiom, it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's deadly. I mean, he went with Braulio. And he said to Braulio, look, this is what I do on the ground. And Braulio was like, wow.
Really?
Yeah, Braulio was... I'll ask him. Braulio was blown away. And he's taught Tom Cruise. He's done all the Batman films.
I was going to say, like, the Casey stuff was in the Batman stuff.
And then Phil Norman has done Ghost. And has also teaching lots of the secret people around. I can't say who they are, but he's teaching all of them.
Yeah.
And he's done ghost, and he's done JKD combatives that he calls, which are mainly stick knife, gun, but basically it's for those sorts of people.
Yeah.
It's self-defense orientated, and then I'm 4D. So we've all taken it and expressed it in a different way. And if you look at the three of us together, one's long because he's athletic, one's in the middle, which is me, and Andy's a bit shorter, and he's like
with the Casey stuff.
And so they all are expressions of our individual and our journey. Because Phil won gladiators twice.
Really?
Oh yeah, twice.
Back in the day.
Yeah, and he's only thin.
Wow.
And lithe.
Yeah.
But he won it twice. And then he's also like an MMA fighter back in the day. He's one of Eric's top people. So here, that's what's happening now. We're saying, okay, we've got this now. How are we going to take it onwards?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Are we going to just keep here reflecting the past?
Yeah.
You don't do,
moving
you're
forward.
tethered there. You have to keep moving forward and adapting it. And on the ground, I don't know. There's loads of good people out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really up to date with who. You seem to be.
Yeah.
Tearing it up on the ground a bit.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, I think that's a good. When it comes to JKD stuff in the UK, that's interesting. Yeah, there's a few people that are doing big things. I guess the biggest one in jiu-jitsu at the moment is probably John Danaher and those guys that just because they're having massive successes. But the big thing in jiu-jitsu at the moment seems to be the leg lock thing.
Yeah.
Which I can't stand.
I know, because it just kills the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, I might have to
you might
bow
have to
down to at
embrace
one
it at
point,
one time,
but I'll keep on playing
and how
off as long as I can.
Is the judo? Do you think the judo's making an impact now?
I think a lot of people are wrestling.
Throwing,
a lot of people are wrestling.
Yeah, I like
that's something I want to start doing. Yeah.
The only thing is, it's a young man's game. It's a young man's game. There's all those body
so
dumps.
Fast. Yeah.
They're so
fast.
A lot of impact. And it's all on your neck, isn't it?
It's not gentle.
No, and I think the other thing is the longevity as well. Because how many people do I know having back surgery
because of wrestling?
Yeah, predominantly because of wrestling and jiu-jitsu as well, getting stacked underneath.
Yeah. Someone mentions it, so I'll ask you about MMA. Do you follow MMA? Do you watch MMA? Like, what's your thoughts
follow it,
on mixed martial arts?
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it, but I don't follow because it changes all the time. Who's people say, oh, so and so's in, and oh, he's gone now. And I go, I'm a 16-9-year-old, but I can't keep up. It's a young guys thing where they're going, oh, so and so's got up. I watch Lomachenko. Fight. I just love Lomachenko. I could just watch him. Yeah. Just if you said, you can't watch porn, but you can watch Lomachenko. Yeah. It's like it's the best thing ever. So he's not MMA, he's boxing, but I'm into that.
Is he the one who had the dance background?
Yeah, he may be, but he's the one who just who's
incredible
who's everywhere.
movement.
Just and he's bashing them. And he hasn't been hit. He's just the best thing ever. So that's what I like. MMA is interesting, but sometimes boring. Yeah, because it tends to end up in the same scenario. I quite like the guys who run up the cage and kick people in the head. And,
that's good.
And I like the people who mix. I like it sometimes when you see a traditional thing used. Like Anderson Silva getting knocked out by Anderson Silva doing a jumping kick against Thingy and knocking him cold, and you go, wow. Yeah. So that does work.
He was definitely a guy who got creative with things.
Yeah. So it's excellent. I'm into that. I'm into taking it on.
And another one. Who's the best martial artist that you've trained with outside of JKD?
probably Terry O'Neill.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry O'Neill by far. Yeah,
Yeah.
just horrendous to fight.
Yeah.
Horrendous, just like a tree hitting you. Yeah,
Really.
yeah. I always said I fought him in competition and trained with him and
In karate.
in karate, and I always said he went to the pub and
You went to hospital.
I went to hospital, you know, even though I won. You know, it was
Really,
I thought I've scored. I'm sure I scored, although that it was a bit of a fit up and I didn't get the score.
Yeah.
But I definitely scored, and I went away with my lip
Really.
open and a nerve just dangling down, which
Oh
went.
my God.
Just I had to snip off with a pair of scissors.
No.
I had to go. Yeah, it was horrible. Spinning an elbow.
No.
And he just went to the pub, and he was probably oblivious that he'd even hurt me. You know, it's like that. But just a beast, but lovely, but classy, because he
But
did
savage,
wonderful magazine back in the day called Fighting Arts International.
Uh-huh.
A very learned magazine, not crass, not base level, not just quality stuff. You know, good authors, great articles.
Yeah.
Everyone said, it was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's deep,
Awesome.
one of those deep people.
And then, finally, just as we wrap this up, do you have any sort of message that you want to say to everyone, or like a philosophy or anything like that?
If you're not into martial arts, you should be. It empowers you, enables you. If you're worrying about squeezing it into life, you should make sure you do, because it just changes everything.
Awesome,
Its impact on everything is great, and you should keep it up, and you should adapt. I think those people that don't adapt should adapt it to the age you are and the health you have, but keep on turning up. And if you can't handle it in a class, because the class can be a bit virulent, then find a way that you can through private lessons or personal training or a training partner who's also injured and stuff like that.
I think you're such a great example for that adaptation and not having any anyone who has any excuses. You can look at someone with your hips in the state that your hips were in before your hip replacement, or being you having this problem with being sick when you were younger, and being even the fact that you're almost 70 years old right now still training. Like, these are all things that people could use as excuses, but instead you've actually made it work in some scenarios.
Well, it's hard.
You've made your limitations work for you.
I mean, I have a stammer.
Yeah.
So I've always had a stammer since I was about 5. Yeah. Or earlier, I don't know. But now I've seen other people with stammers, like Jeff Gleason, who was British judo coach, had a terrible stammer. My next door neighbour was a code breaker at Bletchley Park, and she had a stammer. And so I think if you've got something you're not great about, you might be autistic, you might be this, you might have, I've got a broken arm that doesn't work. No, there's always a way. You just need to think, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna keep on. Because I think that's the thing. I mean, look at David Onuma. He's problem is he's just too flash. And too perfect. And too good looking. But I think everyone has their thing. And you got to realise everyone's got problems. And if you haven't, don't worry, life will give you some. So keep humble. Those guys who I haven't got anything.
Just wait.
Wrong with me. Just wait. Life. I think we all end up equal. And just to keep on. Keep on and realise that martial arts will help you through those tough times that aren't in the book. When you lose a person, when you have a divorce, where someone dies, all of those things, or you have some mental problems, it's your friend. You can go back there, and it's like a home from home. And the people there are your friends. They're non-judgmental. They love you because they bashed you. So you're part of them in a way. So I think it's the best place to be.
Awesome. Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming.
Pleasure.
I really, really enjoyed it, man.
Good,
Thank you very much.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope it was all right.
That was brilliant. That is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to find out more about Bob, you can check out his website, which is bobbreen.com. You can find out all about his academy and stuff like that on there. He also has an online platform, instructional platform called 4D Combat, which you can find at 4dcombat.com. As always, if you'd like to contact the podcast, you can find me on social media on Instagram or Twitter. I mainly use Instagram though. And if you're not following me already, you definitely should. On either of those, if you want to follow me, it is at raspberry_ape. You can find my YouTube stuff, videos of this podcast and other podcasts and other things like grip training stuff and I don't know, other things on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/raspberryape. Or you can check out my website where you can buy things or just, I guess there's not that much else on there to do. But if you want to buy stuff, you can check it out at raspberryape.com. Thank you very much for listening, and I will catch you next time.